com for all the auspicious future looks for the Sacramento Kings.
Just kidding.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown sports headlines. Tons to get into here on Cattles and Ramie. Welcome in.
Not the boring, generic milquetoast stuff coming from the network in Connecticut.
I describe him as the best, obviously.
Cattles.
He throws it out there, speaks his mind. That's cool.
And Ramie.
He's supposed to make people laugh. He's just an expert at it.
Cattles and Ramie. Live and local in the afternoon.
Sactown Sports.
Was I the only one that felt weird without the Kings this weekend?
I was going to say the same thing.
Just felt off.
I was going to say the same exact thing.
My Saturday felt like my Sunday. My Sunday felt like I don't know what it felt like.
What did you do?
What
did you do to fill the time?
Went to the Black Crows on Saturday night.
Nice.
Went out yesterday with Kelly after the Celtics disaster and hung out at a local establishment for a couple of hours. Enjoyed the weather.
Nice.
Sat outside.
Outstanding.
Just enough to stay away from the sun, though. I didn't want to stay in the sun too long. You know, I might melt. Bad things happen when I'm in the sun for more than like 15 minutes.
Sure. Yeah.
So I had to find a spot with an umbrella.
We hopped on some scooters.
Really?
Little lime scooters.
You got to watch out. Kelly flew herself off one of those things.
That.
Yeah,
and
wasn't good.
We've driven by the Museum of Science and Curiosity a bunch, and we're like, oh, that sounds cool. Like Museum of Science, it's science and curiosity. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
So we had nothing to do Saturday, so we were like, let's check out the Museum of Science and Curiosity, right? Hop on some scooters. We get over there, and the guy, he scans her ticket and my ticket, and then he's like looking around for a third person. That's when we very quickly realized this place is for children.
Oh God!
But we paid for the ticket, so we went and we got curious about some science, and they got a planetarium in there, which I think is fun for all ages. Really,
that's absolutely fantastic. You had no idea. It's great stuff. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed their weekend. Happy Monday to you and yours. Thanks for joining us. Very much appreciated, of course. So, Ramie, we look at this Kings team now, and we get ready for this offseason, and we try to figure out how they're going to fill some holes, what's going to happen with HB, the bench. There's a lot of things we discuss and will continue to discuss as we get closer to the draft and then, of course, free agency. But we wanted to start off with this question for everybody. 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. Of course, you can catch us on YouTube, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. What do you think is the biggest decision the Kings have to make this offseason?
And there are a lot of them, Nick. I said on Friday when I was talking about the bench specifically, but like looking at all the free agents on the bench and everybody but Malik Monk, who you got any scoring from, is their status is up in the air this year. Today I was reading, I forget which local Kings beat writer it was, and I don't want to say the wrong one, so I'll just say one of the local Kings beat writers. They're like off-season preview, and they list all the decisions that Monty McNair and the Kings have to make this season. And it was another one of those moments where, like, as I go through them, I'm like, oh yeah, I knew that. But when you put the whole picture together, you're like, oh my God, there's a lot of work to do this offseason. It's one of those aha moments when, like, you see the whole thing put in front of you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And for me, and it could be a lot of things. It could be the Vezenkov decision. It can be who you're going to draft. As we talked about, the draft is still important, even though you're not in the lottery. But when you look at the ripple effect or the domino effect of whatever they decide to do with the money and the roster spot and the starting spot of Harrison Barnes, this is going to go a long way in determining the future of the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
First of all, can you upgrade on Harrison Barnes? Or can you keep Harrison Barnes? Or might you go backwards at that position if Harrison Barnes goes elsewhere and you whiff on whatever free agents or trades or whatever idea you had to do with that spot? And from there, I think what you do with Harrison Barnes is going to go a long way in determining the future of Keegan Murray.
The domino
of Keegan Murray. Is he going to be a 3? Is he going to be a 4? What parts of his game should he be working on this offseason? Should it be around the basket? If he's a 4, should it be more working on his handles and creating his own shot in the mid-range and around the 3-point line if he's going to be a 3? I mean, it goes on and on and on when you look at the effects that are going to happen from whatever decision they make with the money, like I said, money, roster spot, and starting position of Harrison Barnes this offseason, it's gonna influence and affect other decisions that they make throughout the offseason.
I agree that the Harrison Barnes decision is the biggest decision for Monty this offseason, whether you bring him back, whether you replace him with a free agent, whether you can work out a sign and trade deal. There are a lot of different options here when we talk about HB. That is the biggest decision because he's the one starter out of your starting five that is not signed. So you got to figure out how you're replacing him or if you want to bring him back. With that said, I really honestly believe, and this goes kind of hand in hand with HB, who's the next guy for that starting lineup? That's the big decision to me. Like, when you look at how this team is going to be structured, Fox is a max guy. You're likely looking at signing Sabonis to a max contract next offseason, which means you got 2 max spots filled on this roster. And let's not forget, Keegan Murray eventually will become eligible for a big fat contract extension. So over the next 2 years, it is pivotal for Monty to find that other guy that fits with Fox, Herter, Keegan, and Sabonis. And how you find that guy is going to be just absolutely ginormous for this organization. Once you have 2 max contracts on the books, things get very difficult. And once you have Keegan's rookie money going up and up and up, and then eventually looking at an extension with him, it gets very, very difficult to put the pieces to the puzzle together. So they have an opportunity this offseason with about $21, $22 million, given how you handle other people on this roster. You've got money. You've got opportunity, Ramie, to find that other guy. Because if you can find that other guy and you sign him to a manageable deal, now you look at Fox, Sabonis, Keegan, and that other guy with Herter, and you should be set, arguably, for the next 3-4 years.
And if you do that in some kind of trade, what are you giving up? And then how do you replace whatever you give up, if it's a Davion Mitchell or a Kevin Herter or whatever the case might be? And Nick, we've even talked about the possibility of what if you use that money, that roster spot, that starting position on a center, and you move Domas to the 4. There's another domino that could fall out of whatever they do with this decision. It's honestly, it could be a huge, I don't want to say like the downfall of this Kings team, but it's also an opportunity. Like, how many teams that do what the Kings did this season, finished the 3 seed, 48 wins, the emergence of 2 all-NBA players, the emergence of an all-rookie guy in Keegan Murray, putting this whole thing together, having the coach of the year, the executive of the year. How many teams have that? And then the opportunity to add significantly to that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
When you look at the roster flexibility and the cap flexibility that they have, it's really an opportunity. But Nick, if they fumble the opportunity and somehow take a step back at that position, like I said, should you not be able to re-sign Harrison Barnes or somehow upgrade there, then it could be the thing that we look at and go, that's why it never was able to take that next step.
Yeah, and
you know
look,
what I mean?
You have a chance to get better even if you keep HB, right? The idea of Keegan developing and getting better, internal improvement is a thing. But if you tell me you can upgrade over HB, that gives you a much better chance of being a better team with a higher ceiling next year. That's why I just think this is so pivotal, man. If you bring back HB, you have to hope that the internal development works, and however you spend that, exception that you have, whether it's Vasenkov or somebody else, that they're enough to supplement that starting 5. This is your opportunity if you're Monty. This is where you can strike. You got HB coming off the books. You did not trade him, so he's coming off the books. If you renounce his rights, you get that money on the salary cap that you can utilize, or again, sign and trade. But if you can find a way, if you can find a path to upgrading over HB, then this team is better next season. And if you have that to go along with the internal development, now you're talking about a team that has a shot maybe at 50-plus wins, and again, being in the top 3 conversation in the conference.
We've talked about, what we asked last week, could Keegan Murray be your number 2 guy by next season? And Domas takes a step down. What if they can add a guy that could be that number 2 guy, Nick, and even with some development and a step forward for Keegan Murray, now he's your number 3, or Domas is your number 3, and Keegan is your number 4. I think pushing guys down the pecking order, if you can do it, only means you're that much stronger a basketball team.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't think we should set the ceiling on Domas or Keegan being the number 2 scorer, the number 2 go-to guy or option. I think why not look for something even better than that? Why not aim even higher than that if that guy is out there? But ultimately, it's just about finding the right fit and the right puzzle piece. Like I said, it could be a 4, it could be a 3, and there's even the possibility that you go and get a center and bump Domas down to the power forward position. It's going to have a huge ripple effect and going to determine in a big way how far the Kings can take this thing, what they do with that Harrison Barnes spot.
All right, let's get to your thoughts. The HB situation, the biggest decision this offseason for the Kings. Do you agree with us? Your thoughts on that? 916-339-1140. Again, you can text us. You can also give us a phone call. Phone's wide open for you at 1-800-920-1140. And you could always swing by the good world of YouTube, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. When you swing on by, give us that thumbs up. It means an awful lot to us. We'll get to your thoughts on what the biggest decision this offseason is for the Kings and how you'd like to see them address the HB roster spot that's opening up. Also in 90 seconds, one of the most talented teams in the NBA keep getting in their own way.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Welcome back to Cattles and Ramie, regular TCG in the YouTube chat. Apparently went on a Mexican cruise last week.
Ooh.
Which is why he wasn't around.
Oh.
Good to be back. Hola, mi amigos. Yes, TCG.
Que paso?
Oh. You know, I want to learn Spanish. That's like one of my goals now.
I know so little.
I want to learn Spanish over the next year or so.
I know so little Spanish.
Said that to Kelly yesterday.
You want to learn?
It's time for me to learn another language.
It's hard to learn. The later in life you get, the harder it is to learn.
Thanks, Ramie. Way to really.
I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying it
pep
gets
talk, buddy.
It
Thanks.
gets harder. That part
Appreciate
of your
that.
brain is more, I don't know, in use when you're younger.
I really appreciate you
Do it, man.
making me feel very
Rosetta
pessimistic.
Stone or whatever.
Classified and YouTube said that they came here from the radio to see what we look like, and I immediately got ahead and said I apologize.
I trimmed up the beard today. What do you think?
All for Classified.
Look at that, Classified. What you think?
That's why you did it. I told Classified sorry to disappoint, because inevitably when you hear me on the radio and then see me, you're disappointed. There's no two ways about that. But welcome to the family, Classified. We appreciate you. Make sure you give us that thumbs up. One other thing, we were talking about what we could do, you know, as far as the Kings offseason and the biggest decision they have coming up here. We both agree it was HB. Here's another thing I would say. Offense versus defense with your depth. Because you want to find the best balance that you can. You've got plenty of offense with Monk. You've got more defense with Davion. Can you find some guys? Like Lyles is okay defensively. He's not great. He's a good offensive player. can you find guys that are more well-rounded? Like, are they more well-rounded where they can play that 3-and-D role? I think that's another part of this is finding people, 8, 9, 10 coming off of your bench that could really give you that element. Like, if you could find a couple of 3-and-D guys, I think this team would be so much more balanced and better because of it. That's one more thing I'm looking at. But we got some other answers here. Dwayne Baker says Trey Lyles thinks it's a pretty big decision coming up this offseason.
Huge. The whole bench.
And when we were talking to Brendan Nunez last week, I did find it interesting. He brought up the idea that the Vezenkov decision is tied to Trey Lyles, because do you really want Lyles and Vezenkov on the same roster? Thought that was an interesting scenario that Brendan threw out there last week when we had him on the show. And it could be that Monty's going to wait to see what's going on with Vezenkov, and we'll talk more about him later on in the show until he pulls the trigger on a possible Lyles return. Maybe, just maybe, that's how his line of thought is as well.
And if that's dragged out at all, is Lyles going to sit around and wait if other teams are courting him?
I mean, your hope is, obviously, if you're Monty, your hope is that the commodity isn't sky high, Trey Lyles, this offseason, and maybe, just maybe, you can try to figure out Vezenkov and have enough time to pivot back to Lyles if that's not going to work out. But, Lyles, I think, absolutely made himself some more money this season, and he proved himself to be a quality bench guy. I don't think he's a sixth man by any stretch, but eighth or ninth guy in a good rotation. Yeah. Absolutely. Epic Airbeast says, I think Keegan's ceiling will be more visible in a year or two, but Kings need to get better using Barnes or whoever, only if there's the right deal on the table. Yeah, again, this is the golden opportunity with HB. His money's coming off the books, whether you re-sign him, you replace him via a free agent, or you replace him with a sign and trade deal. That really is Monty's carrot. He's going to be able to dangle that hopefully around the rest of the league and make the correct move. And if you could upgrade on HB, then you feel really good about this future the next 2, 3, 4 years. Text line 916-339-1140. Do you think Jaylen Brown would come to Sacramento? I don't know why Jaylen Brown would leave Boston. I mean, I know there's a lot of talk and a lot of speculation that,
people
Brown
are really trying to get Jaylen Brown out of Boston.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of talk about Brown wants to be the guy and all of that. I mean, Brown's also come out several times and said that he enjoys playing with Tatum and So if the Celtics win, I don't know why Jaylen would want to go elsewhere if they win. Now, if they crater, then maybe Jaylen says, okay, it's time for me to be that guy. I want to prove that I can be that 1A. And I would argue that, Jaylen's been really, really good this postseason, and you could debate whether or not he's been better than Tatum. It's been really close.
Yeah.
He's been that good. We'll get back to the Kings in a minute because I wanted to take a look at the rest of the NBA, and that includes the Celtics in the Eastern Conference. And Ramie, I said it in the meeting this morning, Celtics are going to Celtic. I keep saying it, and some people don't want to believe me. This team finds a way to make it tougher on themselves. They find a way to get in their own way. Their lack of execution at the end of games in the postseason hurt them last year, and it's going to hurt them this year. It forced a Game 7 against Milwaukee. It forced a Game 7 against Miami. It lost the season to the Golden State Warriors, and their title hopes just vanquished because of lack of execution. Against Atlanta, a couple games, lack of execution, forced that series to go 6 when it should have been at 5. And yesterday, golden chance, great opportunity to go up 3-1 in that series and maybe finish it tomorrow night in Boston, but the lack of execution. You've got Tatum defending Joel Embiid on the inbound. Didn't make much sense to me. I know that the Celtics were concerned about the switch off the pick and roll, and they did not want Horford to end up on James Harden, and that's why they put Tatum on Embiid. My argument is put Grant Williams in there for Derek White, allow Grant Williams to play physical against Embiid, because when you got Tatum on Embiid, Embiid's going to do exactly what he did. Get in the paint and either finish and tie the game or find somebody open for a 3, which led to the second mistake by the Celtics, which was Jaylen Brown for absolutely zero reason, leaving James Harden alone for a corner 3 to double Embiid. It was a dumb mistake. You make the 3. But you still have, even after that, you still have 18 seconds left on the clock and 2 timeouts. 18 seconds left on the clock and 2 timeouts, and they failed to get a shot off in time.
What?
Inexcusable.
Okay, I didn't see the game. I read the recap. I'm going to be honest with you. in addition to going to a children's museum on Saturday with no children, went on a 7-mile hike yesterday.
Yes.
And then pulled a couple ticks off me, which was a first, and it was gross. Yes.
Not
Well,
great.
So I didn't see the game. You just gave me a pretty complete recap. How did they not get a shot off for 18 seconds? How does that even happen?
As I've said, this team has zero urgency. And so
But to
18
me,
seconds.
Nick, that's coaching. How do you not draw up a play with 18 seconds left to get a shot off?
Marcus Smart is dribbling up the floor. He's walking it up the floor. So first of all, he doesn't break half court till about 11 seconds. So he wastes 7 seconds just walking it up.
He needed Mike Brown to tell him to turn on the bleeping Jets.
And then you had Tatum, who should have come up and got the ball with 10 seconds or so left on the clock. He doesn't get the ball until about 7.5 seconds. So everything is thrown off by 3 or 4 seconds. So now when you get into the action, and the Celtics got Tyrese Maxey on Tatum, which is what they wanted. But now when Tatum makes the move to the bucket, he's going to make a decision. I'm either going to the rack to try to attack, and Embiid's rotating over. So Tatum kicks it out. You don't have enough time to kick it out and swing and take a shot. And so, I have
game awareness.
I have no issue with Missoula not using a timeout up until 10 seconds. If you want to trust your guys, fine. But it was obvious, if you're watching this game, it was obvious that the Celtics had zero urgency. They were not getting into the action quick enough. A timeout should have been called at about 11 seconds, get the guys in the huddle and say, we have to play where they were down by 1. Even if you miss a shot, you got a chance at an offensive rebound. And if the 76ers grab the rebound, you can foul them, and you can still play for the tie if they hit both of their free throws. Missoula literally stood there and just watched them play slow, and then after the game said, yeah, we didn't have enough pace. So you're telling me
I'm
that
not playing. I'm watching.
You diagnosed the problem in real time, and you decided not to call a timeout. I hope he took his 2 timeouts to dinner last night, because I don't know what the hell else you'd keep him in the pocket for.
Budenholzer did the same thing when they went down.
Yeah.
Hanging out the timeouts for no reason.
And you know what's truly crazy? So I saw this from Chris Forsberg today, NBC Sports Boston. Celtics trailing by 3 points or less in the final 30 seconds of a fourth quarter or overtime in the regular season, okay? Coming out of a timeout, they had 17 possessions like that. They scored 23 points. They shot 5 of 9 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3, and only had 1 turnover. When not calling a timeout, they had 11 possessions. They scored 8 points, 2 of 6 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, and had 4 turnovers. Analytically, statistically, they are much better when you call a timeout at the end of a game that's close versus not calling a timeout.
Yeah.
Here was Missoula today talking about the screw-up.
Hindsight's 2020. I should have called it to help us get a 2-for-1 or get a couple more possessions. And so, obviously with 14 seconds left down 1, you want to get as many chances as you can. So, I'll definitely learn from that.
Yeah. Wish that dawned on you yesterday.
You seem a little upset, Nick.
Maybe you want to have that dawn on you during the game, just saying. A complete disaster. Fail of execution by multiple players. Failure by the head coach not call a timeout. And that's why I tell you, it's tough to believe in this Celtics team. They find ways to lose. They find ways to make it tougher. They do it every single series. They continue to do it. It's them in a nutshell.
And I just put it on the record Friday that the Celtics wouldn't lose another game in this series.
Yeah, and I also put it on the record that Durant would score 40, and he scored 39 on Friday. Don't even want to talk about it. Also in the East, the Heat are up 2-1 against the Knicks. The Knicks, man, you want to talk about Miami, defensive pressure, physicality.
I love it.
The Knicks shot 34% from the floor and 20% from 3.
Chef's kiss.
The Knicks
as their
shot
downfall begins.
8 of 40 from three-point land.
And you can just feel the panic from Knicks fans.
Miami plus 14 in the paint.
It's tasty.
Jimmy Butler on 1 foot scored 28 points. Not looking great for the Knicks right now.
Who is this guy, man?
Maybe they'll figure it out. By the way, I want to remind you, all guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. We'll continue with your Kings thoughts. Also, if you didn't think things could get uglier for this franchise, you thought wrong. We'll have that next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Into the afternoon, partly sunny skies expected with a light south wind. Highs today will top out in the upper 60s to low 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Treat yourself to a new car in the new year. Shop Folsom Lake Kia for your favorite Kia model. Low interest rates, low payments, even zero down deals with approved credit. Over 20 years right here in Sacramento. That's Folsom Lake Kia.
Today is the day. Today is the day you empty your garage and closets of your old tech. Today is the day you hang up on that dial-up modem. Today is the day you tell that old GPS to get lost. Because while Staples recycles old tech for free each and every day, today, during Staples' free Tech Take-Back, Rewards members get $10 in Staples Rewards when they recycle their tech. Cut the cord on your old tech and recycle it at Staples. N617. Limit 1 reward per month. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details.
Golfers, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is redefining the word sale. With $500,000 in Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio closeout inventory, you're sure to find your next nearly new showroom clubs at discounts up to 75%. From full sets of irons to metalwoods to wedges, visit the Hagen Oaks Garage Sale and find discounts up to 75% on selected clubs right now at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Spring officially here. And with the long, cold, and rainy winter behind us, I'm sure you're counting the days until summer. But don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioner is working efficiently and, most importantly, safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from American Energy Heat and Air. There's nothing worse than your air conditioner going out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today and make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call, 916-520-9990, or schedule your appointment online at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Better Business Bureau, A+ rating. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. Easy, convenient payment options, same as cash, low monthly payments through financing partners. What do you need? 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at Uma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
At SimpliSafe, we know during a break-in, every second counts. So our home security system is powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who use Fast Protect technology, only from SimpliSafe, to capture video evidence and verify a threat for fast police response. Now install SimpliSafe your way. Do it yourself or have an expert set it up for you with new Pro Install. Get 20% off any new system with interactive monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Looking at the NBA playoff landscape after the weekend, both the Lakers and the Heat went up 2-1 in their respective series. Last night, Sixers able to fight off the Celtics in a thrilling 116-115 overtime victory. Series tied up 2-2 with Game 5 set for Tuesday. Despite the Joker's 53-point push,
Jokic, boy, trying to rip it away from Matt Ishbia, and then a little shove. Oh, wow, boy.
the Suns outshine the Nuggets to even the series. Final score 124-129 as the two Western sets return to Ball Arena in the Mile High City for Game 5 for Tuesday. Today on the docket, Miami will host the Knicks beginning at 4:30, and Golden State looks to recalibrate in LA with tip-off slated for 7. And finally, City of Trees' very own Keegan Murray locks up an all-rookie first-team spot. As always, hit up our Sactown Sports app or check out SactownSports.com for all the auspicious future looks for the Sacramento Kings.
Let's get it.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. We have some unfortunate sound we have to get to right now. Here's Cattles and Ramie.
Cattles and Ramie.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Still have a lot to get to on this Monday. Whole bunch. Mixing some football as we start to transition to the NBA offseason.
Yes, sir.
Some NFL offseason thoughts. We got training camp coming up in July. Mixing some baseball as well. So we have to address this. First of all, the A's on the field have been awful.
Terrible. Not watchable.
8-27.
Oof.
Not what you're looking for.
No.
Never good when you're almost 20 games under 500.
Last I saw, they were like mine, and I can check this real quick to see if it's gone north or south, but they were minus 100 in run differential.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
And think about it, you're like a month into the season and you're already 20 games under 500.
It's despicable.
It really is.
It's like, whoa,
That's exactly how to describe that.
that happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
Oof.
Stupid. Totally stupid.
Minus 124.
Oh, my God.
In run differential.
Oh my God.
How? How are you minus 124 after 35 games? How is that even possible?
My God. Well, they play the Yankees, so hopefully they take care of business. That's not going to happen. So yeah, it has not been going.
Oh my God.
It has not been going well on the field for the A's.
No.
And then you have the Vegas stuff happening, the Vegas conversation. There's, political crap at work with all of that. That's
You got
messy.
Possum taking over broadcast
Yeah,
booths.
you got a stadium that's been falling apart for years. It's not going well. And just when you thought that it couldn't get worse, then you have team broadcaster Glenn Kuiper saying this over the weekend.
We had a phenomenal day today. Your League Museum and Arthur Bryant's Barbecue.
Okay, so he was talking about the Negro League Museum and obviously said another word. Kuiper apologized. The Negro League's Baseball Museum had a reaction, and it was a statement from President Bob Kendrick, and here's what he had to say. I'm aware of the unfortunate slur made by Glenn Kuiper. I welcomed Glenn to the NLBM yesterday and know he was genuinely excited to be here. The word is painful and has no place in our society. And while I don't pretend to know Glenn's heart, I do know that my heart is one of forgiveness. I hope all of you will find it in yourselves to do the same. ! That's what Kendrick wrote in a statement. Let me just first say this, and then I'm going to hand the baton off to Ramie and JJ and Simone if they want to share their thoughts on this. Can we just talk about how classy Bob Kendrick is?
Yeah.
He could have come out and lit the world on fire.
Right.
He could have made things much worse.
Took the high road.
But took the high road. Talk about class. Talking about, I don't know what is in Glenn's heart, but I know my heart is one for forgiveness. So tons of credit to Kendrick for dealing with an unconscionable situation the way that he did. Kuiper has been suspended indefinitely. Ramie, just your thoughts on this.
I have mixed emotions on this one, man. That's obviously an ugly word and a hurtful word. You know what I mean? It seemed like a slip of the tongue. And I've said before, I'm not here to cancel anyone. I just want people to be better from whatever mistakes they make. And whether this was just a slip of the tongue, and the lesson there is be more careful. You know what I mean? Especially when you're dancing around a word that's that harmful and that dangerous. That's like the easiest, I guess, most harmless lesson to be taken away from this. If that's all this was a slip of the tongue, and if it was more, and this was either Freudian and this is what he thinks, how he speaks. I don't know the man personally, or if this was him trying to sneak one past us and get that word out there, then obviously there are much bigger and harder lessons to be taken from this. But man, even if it's just a slip of the tongue, it's not something that can just go unanswered or unspoken for, no accountability for it whatsoever. He said that on national TV on a Major League Baseball broadcast, man. And to me, there was no way you could not say nothing about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, JJ, not sure because you weren't on our call this morning. You were flying back from your unknown destination. We'll get to later.
Get to that. Yeah.
Puerto Rico. Oh no, I'm lying.
But
maybe
Simone was like, no. But you were an A's fan. I don't know if you fully transitioned away from them just yet, but just your thoughts from an A's fan perspective, your personal perspective on what was said and how you feel about it.
Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite way, man, because I think everyone would know where I would stand on the obvious way of what Glenn Kuiper said. But Bob Kendrick, we've had him on the station a couple times, once through the pandemic, and dude was just, Mr. Kendrick was fantastic. He spoke a lot about, the types of history and different avenues and how many ways you could come to Kansas City and check out the museum and everything. But it's very difficult to move forward when we have things that continuously bring us back to the starting point of the situation. And so I'll leave it very simple, because if I spoke anymore, I would have a whole diatribe and we would go to 3:00. And so I just say, be the best that you possibly can. Just like you said with Ramie, I understand things things come out your mouth, but there is something I will say when it comes to this is there's certain things that just aren't in your vocabulary. And we've had this to peel back the curtain. I've said certain things on this, of other ethnicities and cultures just isn't my vocabulary. Like, I don't say it. It doesn't even come off as being something that I could even Freudian slip, because my mind doesn't go that way.
Yeah.
And so that's the only problem that I'll bring to the occasion right now is if you can, say it that clearly and comfortably, then it's in your diatribe. It's something in your vocabulary. It's something in your diction that you're used to saying or being around or have grown up with.
Simone, any thoughts?
It's tough. I just watched a video. This isn't the first occurrence. This has been a slip on air before. So, I mean, I don't know what you do with that. It's just so incredibly difficult to navigate. And yeah, that it's a repeat offender. I'm at a loss for words.
Making him a repeat offender makes it a different situation.
Yeah,
for sure.
If he is a repeat offender, then that's even worse than my initial reaction and thoughts to it. Look, you can certainly forgive. I don't know if you can forget. That's the thing.
Right.
And so we'll see what the A's decide to do here with Glenn Kuiper. He's been suspended indefinitely. So I'm sure they will have some kind of statement once they make their decision, whether it's he goes or he stays, and we'll have that for you when that statement is released. Coming up, the AI takeover continues.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Hand off McCaffrey. Touchdown!
Check one, check two. Can you hear me? Check one, check two. Check one, check two. I hit record in here, so I'm not on program in here. Shout out to the YouTube people. Let me know they could hear me during the break. I was getting ready to cut a spot for the good old people at Napoleon Grills. And I think they heard the check 1, check 2, chickadee check. So thanks to everybody out there. Let me know. We appreciate you.
We're angels off the air anyway, so it's not like we would have said anything.
Yes, my language is always on point.
Yeah.
I treat everybody with the utmost respect.
Of course.
So AI is a big topic of conversation, Ramie. It's a big topic.
Allen Iverson?
No.
Oh.
Artificial intelligence.
Talking about practice?
Practice. Artificial intelligence is all over the place. And there is some concern about what AI could do.
Yeah, you think?
To us in this world. As a matter of fact, Jeffrey Hinton, who is an AI pioneer, recently quit his job at Google, where he had worked for more than a decade.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
So he could freely speak out about the risks posed by AI. He said, quote, "It is hard to see how you can prevent the bad actors from using it for bad things."
Yeah.
No.
Like everything else. Like every other innovation in history.
Yeah.
Bad people get their hands on it.
We all
do
feel like
bad
it's
stuff with it.
We all feel like it's a great thing. We're taking steps forward until it gets in the hand of a jackass or a terrible human.
Exactly.
And then you've got all sorts of bad stuff.
People are like, whoa, newspapers, we can print stuff in mass. And then all of a sudden people are printing hate speech in mass.
Yeah.
Then radio and then TV and then the internet and on and on and on. It's
social media.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's always going to happen.
Exactly.
So we're not going to focus on the truly bad things that could happen in this world due to AI.
Although some might argue what you're about
Will
to
you
talk
stop it? Will you cut it out? You're outrageous. We're going to talk about music. We're going to lighten up the mood a little bit. So Kurt Cobain, obviously lead singer of Nirvana, and took his own life how long ago? 25 years? I mean, it's been a while. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And he is seen as one of the greatest of his generation as a lead singer. And so what happens now is we take these classic songs, not we as in Ramie and I and Simone and JJ, but we as a people take these popular songs from other bands and we go, oh, I wonder what it would sound like if Kurt Cobain sang that song, right? So we have a couple of those. First, let's start with Black Hole Sun, which is obviously from Soundgarden, another man who left the world too early, and Chris Cornell, who, for my money, had the best voice in rock music in I don't know how long, maybe ever. Dude is just
amazing voice,
incredible voice and range. So here's a taste of Kurt Cobain singing Black Hole Sun. Stop shaking your head, will you? So there you go. YouTube says that they can't hear the music, so let's make sure that they're plugged in correctly. Make sure that they
terrible.
It would be not effective if
You
they
didn't
can't
miss
hear it.
anything in YouTube land.
So not the best.
No,
not the best.
That didn't even sound like Kurt Cobain.
Not the greatest.
That does not sound like Kurt Cobain.
Was not a fan of that.
How dare you even attempt it? But that doesn't even sound like it.
Now let's hear another one. So
this one's really gonna make. I haven't heard this one yet, but this one has the potential to make me really mad. I'm just gonna tell you that right now.
I think this one is much better than Black Hole Sun. I think this song from the AI Kurt Cobain is much better than what you just heard. But Ramie he's very difficult to please. He will let you know.
I love Nirvana and Kurt Cobain. It affected me.
So here's Cobain again. AI Kurt Cobain singing "Creep" by Radiohead.
When you ever fall,
oh God.
I just said, "Oh my God."
Look you in your eyes. Just like an angel, skin makes me cry. You're so like a feather I just want. I wish I was special. You're so special. But I'm a tree.
Terrible.
I think it's better than Black Hole Sun. I'm not telling you that it's great. I'm telling you that it's better than Black Hole Sun. At least I think that sounds somewhat like Cobain.
That sounds like me singing along to Radiohead in my car. That's what that sounds like. That sounded
Javier says, sounds like someone singing karaoke.
Yeah, garage band. Totally.
That's what that sounded like to me.
I would say Black Hole Sun worse than Creep. Not telling you Creep is great, but I think Black Hole Sun's the worst one. And then we've got the rap world. And Biggie. So
another one.
Somebody went with the AI of Notorious B.I.G. rapping Nas's New York State of Mind.
Why are they doing this to my youth?
Rappers are lucky, flipping with the funky rhythm. I be kicking, musician, inflicting composition of pain. I'm like Starface sniffing. Rolling the M16. See what the pen, I'm extreme. Man, pulling. Left in my peak holes, I'm suited up with street clothes. Handy and nine and out the feet flows. Y'all know my stilo, with or without the airplay. I keep some E and J. And been up in the stairway, I'm either on the corner betting grins with the CeeLo champs, laughing at gay sets, trying to sell some broken amps. She passed it off quick forever. Reminiscing about the last time the task force flipped. Be running through the block shooting. Time to start the revolution. Catch a wildcat for Houston. Must they fought us off guard. The Mac 10 was in the grass and I ran like the cheetah with thoughts of an assassin. Kicked the Mac up, some brothers back up. The Mac spit, lead was hitting. One ran, I made a backflip. Heard a few chicks scream. My arms shook, couldn't look. Gave another squeeze, heard it click. Yo. Up, try to cock it and went and shoot. Now I'm a danger. Finally pulled it back and saw 2 bullets brought up in the chamber. So now I'm jetting to the building lobby, and it was full of children. Probably couldn't see as high as Ivy looks to say.
Thoughts on that one?
That actually does sound a lot like Biggie.
That was pretty good.
I will say that.
I think that one's hot.
My question is
It's scary.
Why?
It's so scary.
Why are we doing this?
You're not curious. Like, I actually don't mind this.
I find it insulting.
I don't
frankly.
mind. I don't mind the idea of, look, I know what you're saying. It's insulting. I think the idea, the execution by some people can be terrible. Obviously, the Cobain stuff, not nearly as good as the Biggie stuff. But I am interested in, like, taking people that have passed away, like, and hearing them do, new age songs and songs that they hadn't, but I actually like the idea. I think it's creative of taking a legendary voice or a legendary rapper and putting them in the nowadays of music. Even though the Cobain stuff, again, you're taking stuff from the 90s. I'm more into the idea of, like, if you do it well, I think it's kind of cool to hear how that song would sound with that legendary voice.
I just think it's a dangerous precedent, though, and to not be able to potentially distinguish the actual catalog from an AI catalog is going to get real messy real quick.
And also, Nick, this writer's strike is going on right now.
Yes.
And I know this is going to sound like I'm going down a different path, but this writer's strike is going on right now. And one of the things that has leaked from it was that Netflix has been trying to get writers and performers to sign contracts.
This is a different topic, though.
Hold on. That say that their work can be used and applied toward AI in basically any form of media that exists or may be created down the line in perpetuity.
Yeah.
So, like, this whole issue of name.
So you don't sign the contract.
But this whole issue of name, image, likeness is like, it's this puts a whole nother spin on it. I mean, makes this really complicated issue.
It impacts a lot of people in a lot of different worlds. Name, image, and likeness. Don't sign something you don't want to sign. Make sure a lawyer looks at it. That's what my answer would be. And I know there's concern about AI taking over, like, writers' jobs. Now, that's a different thing. We're not, this isn't creating an AI lead singer to, create their own music. This is taking music that's already been done, been established, taking a legendary voice and telling you, hey, this is what it would sound like.
Can we make?
I mean, they did this, like, with Nat King Cole decades ago. Like, this has been done before. It just hasn't been done by AI, but it's been done before. Where you take
like
the older,
fake, like the mashup duets.
We've had people. I went to a concert years ago, and Carrie Underwood was on the stage, but it wasn't Carrie Underwood. It was a hologram, and people were like, "Oh my God, Carrie Underwood!"
Really?
So, this is the first time that things have happened like this.
I wonder if we could have AI Like Carmichael Dave's thoughts and takes, but in Nick
Nobody
Cattle's
wants
voice.
that. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants. You can stop at Carmichael Dave. Nobody wants it. Ward says the twist. Cattles is one of the evil people we didn't want to have AI.
Yes.
Taking over the world.
Exactly.
Joe Giroux.
Why are you so for this, Nick?
I'm not so for it. I think it's a cool idea.
I find it suspicious.
Joe
you AI?
Giroux. Joe Giroux, these AIs need to cross genres. Give me Kurt singing Biggie.
Wow.
Joe, if that happens, I will hate you forever.
All right, where is Mike Brown? Where's Mike Brown, and what does it mean for the future of the Kings? Find out next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive, Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
What's up? Second hour of the show on a Monday. Shout out to Simone for using auspicious in her headline.
Good word.
Love that word.
Solid word.
So we've spent some time talking about Sasha Vezenkov on this show over the last week or two. And it feels like, I don't know if you would agree with this, Ramie, but it feels like to me that Vezenkov is the hot name right now for Kings fans, right?
Yeah.
Like he seems like he's the guy that people want to talk about. And Sean Cunningham, our friend, joined Chris and company last week on that program in the midday. And I think Sean threw even more gasoline on the fire when he had to say this about Vezenkov and the Kings.
Sasha Vezenkov, who is factored into the equation of coming over after this summer and joining this team, will, because as I've been told, 90% in for coming to Sacramento and adding a piece like him. So there are these factors that come in. Now that's on the horizon.
So 90%. Vezenkov's ready to come on over to Sacramento and be a part of this team. And so I was bopping around the old interwebs today and saw a story from Eurohoops.net. NBA Coach of the Year Mike Brown will attend Game 5 between Olympiacos and Fenerbahce. Beko.
I'm sure you got that right. Nailed it.
Fenerbahce.
I'm saying, good job.
Oh, I thought you were. I don't trust you. So, to watch Vezenkov play on a do or die game. Some of this is the translation isn't the best. On a do or die game. It's in a do or die game. Brown visited Europe also during the 2022 Eurobasket and talked about European NBA players joining their national teams. So the fact that Brown is going to hop on a plane and go to Greece to watch Sasha Vezenkov in Game 5 of this series, to me, screams this is the full court press.
Yes. This is them trying to take that 900 and push it, or 90% and push it to 100% is what's happening here. I mean, there's definitely smoke there, right, Nick? And it seems like there's fire when you put together the two pieces of Sean telling Chris and company what he told them, and then this report that Mike Brown is headed over there. It seems like this thing is, I know we're very early on in the offseason already, but it seems like this thing is well underway to Vezenkov becoming a King by next season. Wouldn't you think?
It feels that way. Look, here are a few things about Vezenkov. We really haven't gotten into, the nitty-gritty of the deal, but before we do that, this is the recruiting, right? I mean, this is the version of recruiting. If you want to bring somebody over from Europe, it's very similar to recruiting a young high school athlete and, whining and dining them and going to their high school and watching games they play and having conversations after those games. And, Brown is a very, very charismatic, personable guy.
Yeah.
And that's part of, his DNA that we really haven't talked a ton about. Like, he's great with the media. He's fantastic. He's good for a soundbite. We've all heard it, right? We've all heard it. We've all seen it. But that actually does pay dividends when you're trying to recruit guys. Like, I would not be shocked if Mike Brown charms the heck out of Vezenkov in Greece over the next couple of days. Not to say that that's what Vezenkov needs to become a King, but it doesn't hurt. I mean, you send Brown out to Greece, he's got a very college head coach vibe to him, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you send him out there, and he gets to sit down and talk with Vezenkov and talks to him about basketball. And again, he can give you the jokes and the personality and do all of that. The biggest question to me when we talk about Vezenkov is the money. I don't know what he's going to be looking for. I don't know what his desire is when you look at, hey, will he just come over for $5 million, or is he going to want $9-10 million? And how does that play a role? Because you could look at,
so all they've traded for is his rights. There's no contract in place that they traded for.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
They have to sign him to a deal. So what is his goal financially? You could take some of the exception that you're going to have, which is about $12 million. And you could end up using some of that towards Vezenkov. If he wants $8-9 million, then you pay him $8-9 million. But we talked about earlier in the show today, Ramie, the domino effect of HB.
Right.
And every move you make has a domino effect. It's not like Monty has endless spending here, right? He's got about 22, 23 million. Given what he does, they could try to also stretch Rashawn Holmes' contract. There's some CBA stuff I don't want to glaze your eyes over. Let's just say they have about 20 million to spend. Okay, you got about 20 million to spend. How do you spend it? How do you spend that money? You would have to renounce HB to get his money off the books, because until you renounce a player, their cap number stays on your cap. So you have to renounce whoever you want to let walk. So, again, you go with the idea of, is this a sign-and-trade deal with HB going somewhere else? You bring back talent, and then you use your exception money to sign Vezenkov. How much, if Vezenkov, like we've talked, Ramie, if he is tied at the hip with Trey Lyles, if you're not bringing both back, if it's a Lyles or Vezenkov scenario, as Brendan Nunez painted for us last week, then how much is Vezenkov going to cost? Would you rather have Vezenkov for $9-10 million, or would you rather have Trey Lyles for $6 million? These are the kinds of conversations that are going on in the front office and the decisions that Monty has to make.
Does it make more sense to, if you can make the money work, to bring Harrison Barnes back instead of Trey Lyles if you bring in Vezenkov to give you, because Nick, we were talking heading into the playoffs and during the playoff series against the Warriors of, you need your core of guys that are going to go out there and set the style and pace of basketball that you're going to play, and they're going to eat up most of the minutes. But when you get to the playoffs, you want to have different pieces and sort of the versatility to be able to beat different teams and different styles, different matchups that you might run up into.
Yep.
If you can have Barnes and Vezenkov both on the roster, if that's possible, if you can pull that off, that I think gives you two guys that are going to play different styles and gives you lineup versatility in terms of moving Keegan from the 3 to the 4 based on different situations and matchups, moving Domas from the 4 to the 5 based on different situations and matchups. Harrison Barnes can fit into all that. If you can make that happen of bringing in Vezenkov and somehow keeping Harrison Barnes, I think now we don't know what other pieces might be available in free agency or the trade market, but that's really appealing to me and maybe your best case scenario.
There's no doubt that, and I think we discussed this a little bit last week, more versatility on this roster would be great. The ability to play multiple guys in multiple spots, and I'm not talking about going small ball 5 with Trey Lyles. If you have a couple of wing players that are 3-and-D guys, mixing and matching, and you could mess with Domas going to the 4 if you find the right 5. You could, if you find the right bench 5, bring that guy in and slide Domas to the 4. You could do all these different things. I think everybody feels like 1, 2, 3 is pretty much settled. I think Keegan will likely be your small forward. Herter is your starting 2, and Fox is obviously your starting point guard. It's that 4 and 5 spot that will bring that flexibility. So how much do you want to look at that when you're trying to bring in somebody like Vezenkov and how all of that fits? And that's what Monty's doing. I mean, he's fitting pieces to the puzzle. And it's going to be a lot of juggling. Like, you've got HB, you got to make a decision on him. Are you renouncing his rights, letting him walk into free agency? Or are you able to cobble together a sign and trade deal to get something for him and send him out, and then you bring back one of those trade exceptions? There's all these different things, these moving parts, and they all have to be done in a particular order. You know what I mean? Like, you have to make that decision on HB because that money comes free for you. So you've got to know, can we sign and trade HB to bring pieces back, or is that not even on the board? And if it's not on the board, are we just going to let him walk? Because if you let him walk and he walks away and then you don't get Vezenkov, now you're trying to find that 4. Is it Jeremy Grant? Is it Kelly Oubre? Is it these other, PJ Washington? All these other names that we could throw out there. That's kind of what is going to make this offseason. It really starts with HB and that money. How are you going to utilize that spot? And how do you think you can improve this team by using that spot? And that's why I think, and I'm sure Monty feels this way, and I think this is why Monty said it when he was asked about HB last week, and he said we're still having those conversations.
Right.
Monty's not going to marry himself to Barnes. Because Monty, just like the rest of us, can see you can improve upon Barnes.
He sees the opportunity I talked about in the first hour.
So your thoughts on all of these moving parts? Mike Brown is going to be in Greece for a couple of days. He's visiting Vesenkov, and he's going to be watching him play in Eurobasket.
If Brian Gebhardt, our boss, is listening and we need somebody on the ground in Greece to cover this visit by Mike Brown, I'm totally willing to take that trip for the team.
I mean, these are the sacrifices you're willing to make.
For the team. You know, if we need somebody to take a trip to Greece and cover this, I'll be the guy. You know what I mean? If I got to do it, I got to do it. I'll be that guy.
I think that says a lot about you.
It really does.
Yeah. I think that
team player is what I am.
Selfless.
That's what selfless. Thank you.
He's the Domas of this show.
Yes. I say that all the time.
So we'll get to your thoughts on this offseason. 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. Don't forget, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Give us that thumbs up as we break down the Kings. If you like what we're doing here, again, 6A to 6P, live and local, Monday through Friday. Every like helps the brand. We'll get to your thoughts. Also, is KD now the second best player on his own team? We'll have that in more 90.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy.
Purdy going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
At Progressive, we know how much you love your recreational vehicles, so we decided to record this commercial in an RV.
With a family on vacation.
Mom, who are these people? Oh, that's Flo and Jamie. They're recording a commercial, sweetie. Don't they do that in the studio?
Normally.
No.
But we wanted to feature a family who bundled their home and RV and saved with Progressive.
Yeah, it looks like you're all out of chips.
Okay, I think we'll just drop you off at the next gas station.
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Braden.
Monique's daycare is crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your sock slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Shh. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
Text line from Chris the Mom. We were talking about Len Kuiper earlier in the show and what he said over the weekend, indefinitely suspended by the A's. We're also talking about just how classy of a statement from Bob Kendrick, the president of Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. Just a very, very classy statement after a bad situation.
Yes.
And Mike check.
Yes.
Chris the Mom texts in. Kendrick is total
Mike
class.
check.
Loved how he handled it. My feelings 100% what JJ said. With words don't come out easily. If you don't use them. Forgive but not forget. Says we don't know his heart, which is true. But again, the slip thing is another texter says 916-339-1140. The problem with Kuiper's use of the word is that for him to slip, it makes it likely he uses it in private. And that's what JJ was getting at. And that word should not just come as easily available when you're talking. So appreciate the reaction, all of that. Also talking Kings, Jacob Slavin on Twitter says to me the Kings lack toughness. And Dylan Brooks, which we'll get into a little bit later on the program, saying guarantees Steph would not get 22 points in the paint in Game 7. Kings are soft. They need a wild card, even if he's the bleeps.
We've talked about that. They do need that.
They
that
need
dog.
toughness. They need
the dog.
physicality.
Yeah, for sure.
They need a little extra edge, a little bit of an extra edge, and more physicality. Especially, I'd love to see more physicality at the point of attack. I think they let guards to get to Jacob's point on Twitter. Again, at Nick C Radio, at Ramie is tweeting to get to that point. Like when you saw it at Game 7 when it was practically a layup line for Steph Curry in the third quarter. Like there was just no physicality and aggression to the point of attack, which is why I wanted Davion, but we've been through that enough. Just like enough with that.
Yeah, you hate Davion. We've been through that. And you hate Mike Brown for not playing Davion. Somehow both those things are true.
R. Slater McLaughlin. I don't think R. Slater understands what Piper said.
That sounds like an author. R. Slater McLaughlin?
R. Slater McLaughlin says, absolutely brain dead take from Cattles on the Glenn Kuiper situation. I didn't even share my take, by the way. I was sharing JJ's take and Chris the Mom's. But then says, you think Negro is in his vocab. It's not like he swapped black for a hard R. My man, go look at what he said. You're talking about something you don't know about, obviously. Do you even know what he said? He dropped an N-bomb.
Yeah,
So maybe instead of trying to attack somebody's take in the YouTube chat to get noticed and stuff, maybe do some research and some homework first. Just a suggestion. Because you just made yourself look like a fool.
No. Why would he do that?
Well, he says he listened to what he said live, which leaves me with no words. Then I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Then I have no idea what your point is.
Oh, it's Monday. It's worse than Monday right now.
I honestly have no idea what he's talking about. If you heard what he said, then I'm lost.
Right. We're gonna figure it out. I swear.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll all get there.
I don't want to get too sidetracked.
Man.
But anyway.
Okay.
Said he flubbed the word. Again, I don't think you're following. It's fine. It's fine. We'll get back to the Kings in a little bit, but wanted to take a look at the Western Conference. Lakers, Ramie, up 2-1 in that series against Golden State. AD had 25 and 13 on Saturday. He shot 7 of 10 from the floor. And here was D'Angelo Russell on his teammate.
AD brings a different dynamic to the team to where you can be a little more versatile on the defensive end. And I think that's what it is. You know, when he controls the game like he does, he makes everything easier for everybody else. Gives a guy like me confidence to be aggressive on the ball and around the perimeter, knowing that I have that anchor down there to kind of save the day.
D'Angelo Russell in the beginning of this game looked like he was just on a mission.
Yeah, he did.
He was unbelievable in the first 6 or 7 minutes of that first quarter. He inevitably kind of went back to earth a little bit, but hey, I mean, this looked like the Warriors, took a little bit of a punch early. They punched back, and then the Lakers absolutely, was it JJ say, mollywopped? Mollywopped him. I never heard that till I came here. Not I hear mollywopped. I've heard it a couple times.
It's a Northern California thing.
What's that cat's name on ABC TV, the sports guy? I think it's ABC
Sports.
I don't know if it's ABC. It's one of the local stations. Is his last name Johns or something like that?
I'm not sure.
Kevin Johns.
Kevin Johns. I heard him.
Has he used mollywopped?
I heard him
also?
use mollywopped, and Kelly goes, mollywopped. I said, that's a JJ word. How dare anybody else use that word?
I had heard it, not used in heavy rotate, but I had heard it before I moved out here.
Mollywopped.
But Nick, who is
mollywopped?
That is not a well-known phrase in the Northeast.
Who is Anthony Davis? Like, who the hell is this guy?
Whoever
man?
he wants to be on a given night.
Does he get body snatched on particular nights? And I know he said after the game, people asked him, like, what's with, the huge swings in your performance? And he basically just said, it's a make or miss league. I didn't change anything. Just some nights shots fall, some nights they don't. But anybody could say that. Great players, which Anthony Davis is, don't have the swings in their performance that he had. I've never seen anything like it, man. I've never seen anything like it from a guy as good as he is. He's the deciding factor in this series, it seems. When good AD shows up, Lakers win, and it's not close.
Yeah.
When bad AD shows up, Warriors win, and it's not close. We haven't gotten like a good 4 quarters in this series yet.
No. And by the way, if you're wondering, I don't know how many people are keeping track at home. The Lakers have had 44 more free throws in this series than the Warriors.
That seems normal.
44 more free throws.
But you know what? And
they had, I think, 23 more free throws in game 1, and I think they had 20 more free throws in game 3.
I brought this up during the Kings-Warriors series.
I know what you're going to say.
They had the worst free throw differential in the league.
But we're still talking about a 20-plus
This
difference.
makes more sense than the Kings series did.
I mean, 20-plus difference is outrageous. Outrageous.
It is.
You can explain some of it by style of play. You can't explain all of it.
Life finds a way.
Suns tie their series up with the Denver Nuggets. Where's Kyle Ledbetter? Is he still having his one-man parade about his Denver Nuggets on the record prediction that he was squawking about last week?
No.
Where's he at?
If you say his name 3 times, he will crack a mic open. Yes.
He'll parachute into the studio.
Yes, colorful pants.
3
and
times. I'm afraid that I'm going to hear him right now just because I mentioned him once. Devin Booker, by the way, is the mid-range god. 36, 6, and 12.
Dude.
14 of 18 from the field. Listen to this. In games 3 and 4 combined, Devin Booker shot 79% from the floor.
Yeah, he's 80% for 2 games. And it's not like if Shaq was 80%, okay.
Right.
He just dunks the basketball.
Right.
Devin Booker's shooting that thing from all over the place, from anywhere and everywhere on the court, and hitting 80%. That's ludicrous. That is absolutely insane.
Oh, and by the way, you still have KD, who just went for 36, 11, and 6 yesterday. He shot 11 of 19 from the floor.
He's good at basketball.
I mean, KD and Booker shot, 25 for 37 combined.
That's what we all envisioned. Remember when they traded for KD and we were all like, oh, this is unstoppable. Like, this is just some unstoppable force that they've just put, this unstoppable offensive force, at least, that they've just put together. This might even exceed what we all envisioned or pictured when they put that duo together and how they could put up points. 80%, Nick, for 2 playoff games from a jump shooter?
It's just,
get out of here. Stop it.
And Jokic is like, hey, I scored 53.
53, guys. I just scored 53 points.
I shot 20 or 30 from the floor and dropped the 50 burger. Nobody's talking about it.
Bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers.
I got one more stat for you. Well, stats. One more set of stats for Jokic for you. Last 2 games, ESPN stats and info. He's averaged 41.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, 14 assists, shooting 63% from the floor. And his team has lost both games.
He might have one of the best series ever.
He's the first player in NBA postseason history to average a 40-point triple-double and 60% shooting over a 2-game span.
Again.
And they're
equally
0-2.
as bonkers.
And they're 0-2.
That's equally as bonkers.
All right, we'll talk 49ers with Akash and Anavarathan coming up next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Still trying to figure that out.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
We're going to talk some Niners with Akash Anavarathan from Niners Nation. Still working on getting him on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. While we try to get to Akash, text line is talking about the plus 44 at the free throw line for the Lakers in this series between those two teams. And text line 916-339-1140. Warriors make more money than the Kings. Lakers make more money than the Warriors. It's quite simple.
So the more money you make, the more calls you get.
It's all about the money.
NBA.
All about the money.
Follow the money, they do say.
All right, let's go to Akash. Akash Anavarathan with us here, Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports on this Monday. Akash, thanks for joining us as always, my friend. Your thoughts on Jair Brown?
Excited for the 49ers to add another versatile safety from Penn State. I've heard he's, exactly, he fits the bill for a 49er. What you think of: tough nose, great character. And I think he's going to come in here and he's going to have a chance to learn under Gibson and Hufanga, and he's going to be a contributor this season.
Let me take a step back before I know you already got into one individual move, but just looking at this offseason, Akash, the guys they've lost, the guys they've brought in, can you look at this 49ers team and say that they're better than they were when last season ended?
I think so. I think, when you just look at the overall list of players they lost and maybe the players they added, I think that doesn't take into account some of the guys that they expect to take, a leap forward. And it's already an extremely talented roster. And I think, as we all know, it kind of hinges on that quarterback position, the health of Brock Purdy, development of Trey Lance, and, the potential of Sam Darnold. So I'm not necessarily too worried. A lot of those guys, filled in depth roles, and some of them were valuable contributors, no doubt. But, if there's anything that we know, the 49ers coaching staff has done a good job of developing some of the younger guys, and I expect them to, step into roles. And they've done a good job of, drafting guys a year early. A name like Drake Jackson, who I'd expect to be a big contributor this year. He's not necessarily someone that they added this offseason, but he's going to have a much bigger role than he did last season. So, moves like that they make a year early is going to pay off hopefully this season.
Akash Anavarathan is with us. Akash, you go back to the draft here. I want to circle back to that. Did you have any issue with the Niners selecting Moody in the third round?
Absolutely not. I mean, I know, it ended up being the butt of jokes, but Jake Moody clearly, the cream of the crop when it comes to kickers in this draft class. I think the Niners believe that. I think he was a cut above Chad Ryland and Anders Carlson, who were some of the other kickers drafted after Jake Moody. They obviously didn't have a fourth round pick, and I think their next pick was at the end of the fifth round, and they felt if they didn't take Moody here at the end of the third, he probably wouldn't be there. And, ultimately, as long as Jake Moody turns into a reliable kicker, and develops into someone who they can rely on and contributes for this team for a while, I absolutely don't mind using that third round pick there. And, if you look at their, drafting history in the third round, it hasn't been great, whether it's been, Joe Williams or Trey Sermon or Ambry Thomas, who hasn't necessarily contributed on defense. It's, if Jake Moody turns out to be a stud at kicker, then I think it's well worth the pick.
It's another offseason, which means another few months of discussing the 49ers quarterback situation constantly wherever people talk about football. Akash, do you think that there is some question in the building about who will start week one, or do you think that's more just a product of dead time on the NFL calendar and folks need to fill up the airwaves with something?
I think it's a little combination of both. I think, Brock Purdy's health obviously is the biggest question mark, and that's just somewhat of an unknown. I think, here in early June at the 12-week mark of his recovery timeline, we'll get a better idea if he's able to throw and get into, a rehab program that puts him on track to return early this season, or, if he experiences some setbacks. And I think that'll provide some clarity as to where they stand in the quarterback situation, because I think internally, amongst whether it's coaching staff or the front office, publicly they've been pretty clear in their stance that they think Brock Purdy's the starter when healthy. So the big question just becomes his health. And then, the unknown of Trey Lance, causes a lot of, guessing, whether that's in the media or online, just because, he's only played 4 games. And I think a lot of people are wondering what he would look like this season if he were given the opportunity to play. And then same thing with Sam Darnold, right? I think Sam Darnold, well documented, just, the constant rotation of coaches, offensive coordinators, supporting cast, and seems like he's in the best situation he's been in his career. So I think a lot of people are wondering what, Darnold could look like if he's needed in some sort of spot starter duty. So I think it's just kind of the unknown with each quarterback on the roster that's causing some uncertainty. But I think it all starts with Purdy's health.
Last one for you, Akash. When does a Bosa extension get done?
As always with this team, it feels like these extensions don't get done until training camp.
Right.
As they say, deadlines create action, and there's no real urgency especially with a player like Nick Bosa, who generally trains away from the team during OTAs, and until training camp, he's off in Florida with Joey, his brother, and his own personal training staff working out there, and somehow comes back in better shape. So I imagine, we won't see an extension until then, but not necessarily concerned. I can't imagine there's much of a back and forth there, given what, Bosa put on tape last year, obviously being the defensive player of the year. I think it's pretty clear what his contract's going to be, and I think the 49ers are going to back up the Brinks truck for him.
Akash, we appreciate the time as always, man. Thanks a lot. Let's do it again soon.
Of course, appreciate you guys.
Thank you. There goes Akash Anavarathan from Niners Nation on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Did not get to ask him about the offensive tackle position. I think it's interesting that the Niners are very, very comfortable with McKivitz. Yeah, they did not use a draft pick on a young developmental offensive tackle. They're making the statement that they believe in what they have. And, look, Trent Williams is the best tackle in the game. It's just whether or not I don't know if you'd call it a gamble, but the shot at McKivitz being that guy on the right side after McGlinchey walked be pretty interesting if that does not work out, and then you're left with a hole on the right side. We'll have to wait and see. But no offensive tackle prospect taken by them in that draft. So that
like what they got.
That was one of the things that stood out to me the most in that draft from them. Kind of surprised by it, but they know better than I do. So we'll see if it works out. 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. Don't forget, you can check us out on YouTube as well. You can watch us and listen to us. Give us that thumbs up. You can chat with fellow listeners like Dwayne and TCG and others. YouTube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Overreactions are coming up.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The clutch player of the year.
Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Let Shane and his team at bridgehavenhomes.com take that stress away. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
Ace fans need Friday night plans? Well, we got you covered. Get 4 tickets and parking for any Friday night game starting at just $49 with the Friday 4-pack presented by Chevrolet. Save big and enjoy great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more this 2023 season.
He drills one to right, way back, and no doubt, and that quickly the A's have taken the lead. Second deck.
Friday night tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0
down with approved credit. At Ashton & Price over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking when is something too good to be true? When it probably is, and had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop garage sale of nearly new showroom clubs is on right now. With discounts up to 75%, you'll find full sets of irons, metalwoods, wedges, and more at the Hagen Oaks Garage Sale featuring $500,000 in Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio closeout inventory. This kind of opportunity is rare and available right now. Visit the Hagen Oaks Garage Sale and find discounts up to 75% on selected clubs at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
It's Monday, and we all have an opinion on what happened.
Let's get a reaction.
Are you ready to crown a champ yet?
That team's unbelievable. It's the best team I've seen in years.
Has your favorite team thrown in the towel?
They're horrible.
Overreaction Monday.
All right, I remind everybody within the sound of my voice that this is all about overreacting. So if you hear us say something, we're overreacting.
It's supposed to be outlandish.
Okay.
These are supposed to be crazy.
Just wanted to make that clear.
Overreactions.
And that's why I'm going to start with this.
Oh.
Network TV shows are dead. It's over.
What happened?
They're dying.
Are your NCISs ending?
NCIS LA is ending.
Oh.
But here's the deal. I don't watch SWAT. Does anybody watch SWAT?
No.
Kelly loves SWAT. I don't watch SWAT.
Was that another CBS?
I think it's because of the super hunky lead actor. She might really get into this thing.
Sure that doesn't hurt.
But I heard that SWAT is getting canceled as a show, not because of the ratings. The ratings are great, but it's because Sony and CBS are in a battle.
Over what?
So I guess Sony owns some of the rights or whatever. So the network is like, well, we don't want you to be a part of this anymore. We want to own the show, and it'd be too expensive to own the show, so we're getting rid of the show. And then I heard this. I watched the Chicago series. You know that? The Chicago,
Yes, all the
Chicago Med,
Chicagos.
Chicago
Yes.
Fire, Chicago PD.
Yeah.
All those. So apparently, NCIS LA this season, they decided that they were not going to have all the stars of the show on every episode.
Oh, you told me this. Yeah.
So they kind of like
budgetary move. They'd
staggered
have
it.
Yeah. Okay.
Apparently, they're going to do the same thing with all of the Chicagos. So like they're now to save money.
Dude, what is going on?
They're like only going to show you like a couple of the stars each episode.
What is going on with these networks and streaming services acting like they don't have money?
I don't know, but I'm telling
Disney
you.
is laying people off like Disney doesn't have money.
Disney doesn't have money.
What? Star Wars ain't making that money? All those Marvel movies ain't making that money?
Not during this segment.
What is happening?
So
what is happening?
I'm telling you, network TV.
Give up the money. I'm saying this to all the networks
These
right
series
now.
are dying. They're
Give
dying.
up some of the money. I see what you CEOs are making. Stop it.
It's not going to work out.
Stop it. It's ridiculous.
It's over.
You might be
NBC,
right.
CBS, Fox, it's all over.
I feel like network television, network series at least, network fiction, whether it's action, comedy, etc., it's been headed down a
I'm
slow,
losing a
steady
bunch of them
slope for a while.
this year's tough. This year I'm losing Blacklist. I'm losing NCIS LA.
Sorry for your loss.
I lost Bull last year.
T's and P's out to you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
My overreaction. You know, Nick, last week you said you don't want to have the GOAT debate in basketball.
Which means, of course, you want to have the GOAT
No, I don't want to have it either. And we don't need to, Nick. We don't need to have the GOAT debate anymore. It's
Okay.
over. The GOAT debate is over.
Who's the GOAT?
It's Jimmy Butler, man.
Playoff Jimmy.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Buckets.
Is the greatest basketball
My
player
man, Jimmy Buckets.
to ever walk. Who the hell is this guy?
Take the man's ankle away. It doesn't matter.
That was his 9th consecutive playoff game with at least 25 points.
Where's the texter who was texting me 2 weeks ago that playoff
You're
Jimmy
being
was
hyperbolic,
being
Nick.
hyperbolic. Playoff Jimmy's a myth.
The only player in Heat franchise history with a longer streak of 25-point games is some guy by the name of LeBron James, who had 16 of those between 2012 and 2013. Butler has scored 25 points in all 7 games he has played in this postseason.
It's ridiculous.
Marking the longest such streak to begin a postseason run in Heat history. And Nick, he's doing this against and talking all the trash to 2 of the best defenders at his position in the NBA. Lip syncers caught him telling Drew Holiday, put 38 on your head.
Yes.
On your head.
I mean, you can't get upset about a guy talking facts.
He was telling Josh Hart the same thing over the weekend in Madison Square. He was saying, I'm doing all this on your head. 2 of the best defenders at his position. Doesn't even care.
Talk that talk.
Doesn't even care.
I might not start Josh Hart if I were Tom Thibodeau at this point, by the way.
He's getting abused.
This is backfiring a little bit offensively. It's
Jimmy Butler's a GOAT, man. I don't know if
Josh,
he gets body snatched by MJ in the postseason or what.
something happens.
He is the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Something
to him.
happens.
Give him his flowers.
He's at a different level in the playoffs, man. This Miami Heat team stunk all year long. They didn't even look like they could compete
Eric
with playoff
Spoelstra's
teams.
a wizard.
He is. I'm
He's a
going back
wizard.
and forth with Rob Stats Guerrero, who's trying to tell me Steve Kerr's a better coach than Spo. I agree to disagree. Stats. Anybody in the back got one for us? What we got?
Fellas, congratulations. We are all done with blowouts.
What?
For the NBA
Blowouts
playoffs.
are over? No
We're
more
done.
blowouts
Yep,
in
we're
the
tapped
NBA
out.
playoffs?
Yep,
we're
Wow.
done. You've gotten your fill, and we're all done.
Yesterday
so,
was the day.
congrats.
Yesterday was the day. Nothing but tight now.
It really does.
games.
It really does seem like every game is a blowout now.
One possession games. Across the board. Let's go.
Yeah.
Other than Celtics games. Let the Celtics blow out.
Let them go.
We're winning the
Let me
championship.
breathe a little bit. JJ, you got one?
Yeah, I'm going you guys talked about how bad the A's were. I'm literally saying the worst record in the 162 game season is the 03 Tigers. They went 43 and 119. I'm saying the A's will not get to 43 wins. They will literally have the worst
From the
season
mountains.
ever in 162 span.
They're
season.
awful, man.
Yeah.
They're awful.
Number 1, baby.
42 wins and under.
If you're gonna be bad, you might as well just be the worst.
Be the
They
best.
played 35.
Be the best of the worst.
8 and
They have
27.
8 wins. They're approaching the quarter mark, Jay, with only 8 wins.
Yeah.
That's very realistic.
They might not finish with 30 wins this year.
That's really realistic.
Imagine
man.
that, dude. 30 and 100.
Oh my
30 and
God.
132.
The 18, I looked this up. The 1899 Spiders, the Spiders, they won 20 games, 20 and 134. So I think they'll get more than 20 games because they have a few more wins. But yeah,
I generally don't. When people start talking, oh, we need relegation, I'm like, that's for Europeans. All right, we're America. This is an instance where relegation may be needed, man.
Or so how many people did you just upset, by the way, a minute ago?
What do you mean?
Not many, right?
What? About relegation being for Europeans?
Yeah.
Relegation and ties are for Europeans. It was America. But the A's might need to be relegated. Like, for real. Or stripped of owner. Like, their owner needs to be stripped of the team. Something. There's got to be some kind of repercussion.
They're telling us all that things are going to change when they go to Vegas.
Yeah, right.
If they go to Vegas, it's all going to change, Ramie. It's all going to change. It's going to be sunnier.
If that's the case, just more of an indictment on how criminal you were as an owner in Oakland.
It's going to be 150 degrees in the summertime.
Oh, my God.
I'm sure those players are going to love playing out there. And, I mean, you got to do a dome, right? You got to.
Yeah.
You have to do temperature.
I know, pass out. Yeah.
I know Rob Manfred said he feels bad for A's fans.
Heat stroke and center.
I lying too.
I mean it. I mean it when I say it's heat stroke and center. I mean it when I say I feel bad for A's. I don't know how an A's fan endures this season.
I believe you, not Rob Manfred.
And I don't blame you.
I think A's fans just quit. That's what I would do.
That's why I should be the commissioner, Jay.
You got to. No one's going to be there.
You've got to turn it into anger. That's what you do.
Did you guys see May 5th, the revoke game?
The what?
It was like the revoke game. Nobody goes.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
I looked very quickly, and the wifey showed me very quickly. I probably saw maybe 100 people in there.
So instead of like 2,000 people, they got 100.
Yeah, so it wasn't that much of a revolt, but you get the
feels
the
like
drift.
90% of the people have already revolted. Wow. Brutal,
man,
absolutely freaking brutal,
and shameful, a disgrace.
Gonna go to Vegas. It's all gonna get better.
Once proud organization.
It's all going to be fixed.
And then you have the great Vita Blue in there. I mean, come on, look how you doing this.
Tough times.
So there you go with the Monday overreactions. One free agent consistently linked to the Kings. Who is it? Find out coming up.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third, your scorer is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
For your everyday vehicle. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP oil filter for only $26.99. Do the complete job for the right price. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
You hearing this? It sounds like
this is playoff basketball.
Time to tap into playoff mode. That non-stop, claw your way to the top, give it all you got type of thing. From inside the paint to outside the arena.
Where did this come from?
Everybody's got to get in playoff mode and stay in playoff mode.
Unbelievable.
Every single round. The NBA playoffs presented by Google Pixel continue on ABC, ESPN, and TNT.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
When they're investigating, we can't stop watching. This month on BritBox, sit back, relax, and enjoy watching the detectives. Discover Britain's most bingeable mysteries, including the brand new season of Grace, the hit series based on the books by best-selling author Peter James. Unwind with the detectives you could watch all night long. Stream them all now exclusively on BritBox. Endlessly intriguing. Start your free trial at BritBox.com.
At Progressive, we know how much you love your recreational vehicles, so we decided to record this commercial in an RV.
With a family on vacation.
Mom, who are these people?
Oh, that's Flo and Jamie. They're recording a commercial, sweetie.
Don't they do that in the studio?
Oh, normally.
No.
But we wanted to feature a family who bundled their home and RV and saved with Progressive.
Yeah, it looks like you're all out of chips.
Okay, I think we'll just drop you off at the next gas station.
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Brayden.
Monique's daycare is crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your sock slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Shh. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, Scott, you look great.
Yeah, I'm feeling good and have a new job.
No, there's something different about the way you look.
To be honest, a few months ago, I had an amazing robotic hair transplant procedure at XL Medicine. It's called the artist procedure.
No way. Your hair looks completely natural, and you don't even have a scar. How did they do that?
Dude, the artist system is amazing. I have this fantastic hairline, and I'm happy with my results. XL Medicine could probably help you too, buddy.
Using the artist procedure, Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall can target and harvest healthy hair follicles with micron-level accuracy from the back of your head and transplant them where you need it. The procedure is painless, and you'll be back doing your regular activities in a couple of days. Ask Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall at XL Medicine about the artist procedure. Call today, 916-932-4470. That's 932-4470 for a complimentary in-person or Zoom consultation. Or on the web at xlmedicine.com. That's EXCEL medicine.com. See what the artist procedure can do for you.
These are actors and not real patients. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
It's Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Looking at the NBA playoff landscape after the weekend, both the Lakers and the Heat went up 2-1 in their respective series. Last night, Sixers able to fight off the Celtics in a thrilling 116-115 overtime victory. Series tied up 2-2 with Game 5 set for Tuesday. Despite the Joker's 53-point push,
Jokic, boy, trying to rip it away from Matt Ishbia, and then the little shove. Oh, wow, boy.
the Suns outshine the Nuggets to even the series. Final score 124-129 as the two Western sets return to Ball Arena in the Mile High City for Game 5 for Tuesday. Today on the docket, Miami will host the Knicks beginning at 4:30, and Golden State looks to recalibrate in LA with tip-off slated for 7. And finally, City of Tree's very own Keegan Murray locks up an all-rookie first-team spot. As always, hit up our Sactown Sports app or check out SactownSports.com for all the auspicious future looks for the Sacramento Kings.
Let's get it.
I'm Simone. Welcome back into Cattles and Ramie.
From the headlines to the sidelines, it's the Kings, the 49ers, the Raiders, the Republic.
Vocal on the local.
All right, so there's lots of talk, Ramie, about Dillon Brooks and the Kings.
Buzz.
Lots of buzz.
Is there?
Surrounding Brooks. BetOnline has the Kings ranked 4th as far as best odds to land Brooks. So the 4th most likely team to land Dillon Brooks. Your Sacramento Kings. And Ramie, you were telling me this morning there are a couple of other things that, whether it be odds or articles linking Brooks to the Kings as well.
The USA Today were giving out odds on Dillon Brooks landing spots. They had him at second. They gave him the second best odds at plus 450. John Hollinger, our friend from The Athletic, he put out a list, I think, of 5 teams that were good fits that Dillon Brooks could help, and the Kings were one of those 5 teams. I know it's obvious it's not even the offseason yet. I was about to say it's obviously very early in the offseason.
Yeah.
It's not even in the offseason, but there's already chatter out there, Nick, not just about the Kings, but that includes the Kings, involves the Kings, and some interest in Dillon Brooks.
So I think it's worthwhile to take a look at him again. And we've had some time to think about this.
You didn't like it when we talked about it before.
Because as it's getting linked to the Kings, this talk more and more about Dillon Brooks to Sacramento, I'm starting to get this feeling in the pit of my stomach that this could actually be a possibility. Now, maybe I'm just buying into the odds a little bit too much. Maybe I'm buying into John Hollinger a little bit too much. But there does seem to be this line of thought. And I've seen some people, talk about this in the YouTube chat, on Twitter. There seems to be at least one line of thinking that, hey, man, we need to get more physical. We need to get tougher. We need to have a dog on our team that's not just Davion Mitchell. And Dillon Brooks could be that guy. I think that's where people are kind of looking at this from, that spectrum of we need to find somebody who wants to try to impose their will on the other team, because there's a feeling, and I would agree with this feeling, there's not as many guys on this team that do that you would like.
Mm-hmm.
You'd like at least, 2-3 guys who could really kind of impose their will. Domas will do it at times, but it's more a matchup thing. And then we saw his selflessness backfire in the Warrior series. Again, you've got Davion, who's that kind of guy. Trey Lyles, I wouldn't say Lyles plays an uber physical type of game. I know he got in the face of Lopez.
Yeah, just don't cross his path.
He got fiery, but there's a difference
don't
between
walk in his path.
Yeah, there's a difference between being like fiery and physical.
Right.
Like Fox plays with an edge. He's not a physical player. He's fiery. And I think when we talk about toughness, when we talk about edge with this team, we talk about the physicality on the floor. Somebody who's going to punch first, so to speak. And Brooks is that guy. So with more thought, you were more open to it than I was.
Yes.
With more thought, you feeling better about Brooks, or you kind of where you at the last time?
The more I think about it, Nick, the more it comes back to one guy, and that guy is Mike Brown. And, well, first, let's get a couple things out of the way before I even get to Mike Brown. There are reports he wanted a bigger role in the Grizzlies offense, and there's a lot of evidence that he probably did not or nor should not have gotten a bigger role in the Grizzlies offense or any other offense around the NBA. There have been rumors, buzz, that he wants $25 to $30 million in his next contract per year. If that's what he wants, let somebody else give it to him. That's too much for
I don't care
Dillon
what
Brooks.
he wants. He ain't getting that.
Those two things aside,
he's smoking a hopium.
This comes down to Mike Brown, and in two ways. One, do we trust Mike Brown? We in the media, fans, those of us who watch, take in, talk about Kings basketball, do we trust Mike Brown? And I mean, like, unquestioned trust. Like, I if he says that this is going to work, I'm at least willing to give it a try. And that's where I'm at with Mike Brown. The second part of it is, can Mike Brown get through to and earn the trust of Dillon Brooks? Because, Nick, I told you a couple weeks ago, I came across a video of Dillon Brooks. And
so you're telling me pretty much in Brown we trust?
Yes. I came across a video of Dillon Brooks a couple of weeks ago from his time in college where he said, I want to be the next Draymond Green. If I'm Mike Brown, I go to talk to Dillon Brooks, I'm like, look, I know Draymond Green. I can make you the next Draymond Green. I can get that out of you. I'm the Draymond Green whisperer. Draymond and I were attached at the hip for my 7 years in Golden State. Can you buy into this role in the offense? And can you step the line without stepping over the line in terms of his antics and his trash talking and everything else. Can you walk the line without stepping over it? If he tells Mike Brown yes to those two things, will you accept your role in the offense that I'm going to give you? And can you walk the line without crossing it? And Mike Brown sort of, what's the word that I'm looking for here? Watching over him the whole time and babysitting him, however you want to put it. I trust Mike Brown to get the right stuff and out of Dillon Brooks and to keep him in check and without letting the whole thing get out of control.
I was out last week. I'm still out this week.
Still out.
I couldn't care less about your odds. I couldn't care less about John Hollinger's opinion. I am a no. I'm a no. The biggest thing that
even
concerns
if Mike Brown told you he thinks he can make it work.
It's not even about the line stepper part. It's like, what do you expect from yourself? A couple of things about Brooks bothers me. Number one, you mentioned this, 20 to 25 million. This guy thinks he's much better than he is. Okay.
There's probably some of that going on.
When somebody says, and look, maybe he's just angling to get the best money that he can get. But when you come out and you talk about, or it leaks that you're looking for like 20 to 25 million a year, if it leaks, it's even worse than him coming out saying it publicly, because that tells me that that's really what he thinks he's worth. If he's privately telling the Grizzlies I'm worth 25 million a year, I'm sorry, I would literally get up, laugh, and walk out of the room if I was negotiating with Dillon Brooks. It's like if I was negotiating with you when I was PD last year and you were like, Nick, I think I'm worth like $250,000 a year. That's awesome. I hope you get it. And it's not going to happen here.
I mean, I am worth that. I just know it's not in the budget.
So, guaranteed. Not a better guaranteed drop than that. So you know, that's the first thing is like when you talk money in that category for Dillon Brooks, it tells me he thinks very highly of himself. And then on top of that, what he did say publicly tells me, like publicly, this is a guy that came out and said, oh, all they want me to do is shoot threes and play defense. I think I'm more than that. Well, bro, if you came here to Sacramento, you're going to be doing what? Defending and shooting threes. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be a shot creator, Dillon. I know you might play one in a video game. I know you might dream of it at night, but in reality, nobody is going to sign Dillon Brooks to be a shot creator, offensive powerhouse. He is a take three, defend kind of guy. It's what he is. And if he actually cherished that role and stopped worrying about being bigger than he is, then maybe he'd be even better. Maybe he'd be better at the role that he's suited for.
Isn't that what coaching is, though, to get guys to accept roles? That maybe they
but you can't get everybody to accept roles.
That's what I'm saying. I would put that trust in Mike Brown. If Mike Brown said he could make it work, he could get Dillon Brooks to accept the role. He could get Dillon Brooks to calm down with the antics and not cross the line too often. He's going to cross the line. That's just going to happen.
Here's another problem, though. If you pay, say Dillon Brooks, he's not going to get $25 million.
No.
But say Dillon Brooks gets 13, 14, 15 million. We talked about it earlier in the show. You only have so much money to spend. Do you want to spend your cap space? Do you want to spend your exception on Dillon Brooks? I don't know. Are you that confident that he'll get with the program? And this isn't even discussing, we're talking about on the floor. I'm not even talking about off the floor. I'm not talking about the, again, it's not just what you wear. It's what you say. It's how you act at times. Like, he acts like he is a big baller. And the one thing about this team, I think I would sound ridiculous if I came onto this show and I said, oh yeah, sign Dillon Brooks. He's a great fit. When all year long we talked about this team's camaraderie and chemistry and selflessness and that nobody had an ego, beginning with De'Aaron Fox and Domas. Those guys don't have superstar egos. Is this guy going to walk into the locker room thinking that, as my mom would say, he's the cat's meow? You're going to be like, oh, well, I'm the ish. Like, give me the ball. If that's the case, I'm out. He was on a team that was the second seed in the Western Conference.
I understand that. And
he was crying about his role.
And if there is no give when you talk to Dillon Brooks about his role, when you bring him in for some kind of visit, then no, I'm not interested. And I'm not even here to say Dillon Brooks is my top choice, Nick, in terms of free agents or guys I think they could bring in to help this team and make things better. But he certainly has some traits and some qualities that I think this basketball team needs. And he would certainly be on the list of guys I would look into if I'm Monty McNair.
Now that's true.
And Mike Brown.
That's true.
I wouldn't count it out. And if first 2 or 3 guys. I don't know how far down my list he is. I haven't officially made my list yet of free agent guys that I want on the Kings. But if I can't get first, second, third, or however far down we got to go, I would go to Dylan Brooks and see if I could make it work. I wouldn't rule it out as we sit here today on May 8th because of the things that you said.
He certainly does a few things that would be great to add to this team, and that's why you have the odds and you have Hollinger writing about it. I don't think he's the right guy. Skill set wise, he could do some things. By the way, I mean, I just think we get into this, 3-and-D mode, 3-and-3, 3-and-D. Last year he shot less than 31% from 3, and this year he shot 32.6%.
His 3-point percentages have been heading in the wrong direction for a few years now.
So we might not even want to say a 3-and-D guy with Dylan Brooks. He might just be a defensive guy. And that's the guy whose his shooting percentages are getting worse, and he's talking about wanting the basketball more. To me, that screams he's out of touch. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand.
Also, some of his entrance outfits, questionable. You know what I mean?
And will I – there's no doubt about that.
Right.
And will I be willing to trust his assurance, even if he told Mike Brown, I'll get with the program. This dude's trying to get a contract. Do I really believe that? Or is it going to be, by the time you get to the second, third month of the season, you're embroiled in this controversial bull crap because he's doing something stupid on the floor. And again, here we go with his.
I wouldn't believe Dylan Brooks. I would believe Mike Brown's belief in Dylan Brooks. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay.
It's like some Inception stuff. Sure. Your thoughts. Have you changed your mind on Dylan Brooks? Have you moved in any way about him? These odds and these stories popping up that Brooks makes a ton of sense for the Kings. Would you do it? Would you take that swing? 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. Sactownsports.com is the website. Tons of content. You guys can check that out as well. We'll get to your thoughts on Brooks. Also, another day, another award handed out to a King. Talk about that in 90 seconds.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The clutch player of the year.
Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
The folks at M&S Auto know that inflation is tough on everybody. If you need an excellent, gently used car or truck, M&S has hundreds of vehicles on the lot on El Camino just off the Cap City Freeway. M&S customers get great deals and they save thousands. Get a great deal now on super clean 4x4s, including Tacomas, Silverados, and Jeeps, and muscle cars, Challengers, Teslas, Mustangs, and even the occasional McLaren. M&S Auto, msautogroup.com.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
Sham Sharania just reported that Gary Payton II will be in the starting lineup for the Warriors tonight. So that's the lineup change for Game 4. Payton II.
Who's out?
Well, he shot a video. I don't know. I'm going off of the bottom third that says they're going to put him in there. So I'm not really sure who he's replacing.
Gotcha.
But I did retweet it if you want to see the video. It's at Nick C Radio. Just retweeted that bad boy. A couple of things here. Things. Got some reaction to Dylan Brooks. Then we'll get to more of your Kings reaction about this offseason, HB, all that good stuff. The real Cheech. No way McNair brings in toxic person to the locker room. So no toxicity, says Cheech. out on Brooks.
I think anytime you have one of these guys that we're talking about, when we say they need a little attitude, they need a little dog, those guys come with some baggage almost every time. You know what I mean? They almost never come like easy, no trouble. Almost every one of those guys comes with a little bit of baggage and a little bit of, you're going to have to wrangle them. You know what I mean?
See, but I think he comes with more baggage, man, than the usual.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't even push back on that, Nick. But anybody who when we talk about a Pat Bev, a PJ Tucker, all these guys that we talk about that would come in here and bring you a little bit of that nasty, a little bit of that dog that we think this basketball needs, every one of them comes with a little bit of, they're going to need to be reined in and wrangled from time to time. Right? Is there one that you can think of that doesn't? I can't.
PJ Tucker doesn't really need any. Bobby Portis is pretty no frills guy, like no drama, just does what he does.
Internally, yes.
Marcus Smart,
they don't give
off
you
the floor, has gotten much better with that. Early on in his career, did some dumb things, punching a photo or whatever, a art piece in a hotel room and damaging his hand and all that ridiculous.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
sounds really dumb.
He did a couple of dumb things early, but he's better off the floor now. And I would also say, like, it's just, again, what is you're also, Ramie, willing to put up with more if the dude is
it's a sliding scale talented. For sure. Yeah.
And like, again, if Brooks is going to shoot 32% from three, I mean, I don't even think he's worth it as a player. But so we'll continue thoughts here. Ryan in Sactown says Brooks a perfect fit for Charlotte or Orlando. He's a big fish in a small pond. Dean says Dylan Brooks ... needs to play ... Ice-T in his biopic. Do you like that? Dylan Brooks, Ice-T, Dylan Brooks.
Didn't Lance Woods put out a video? Jay, I think, was the one who retweeted it, and I saw it. Put out
the villain Ice-T.
Villain Ice-T.
He's the bad guy Ice-T. He's the heel Ice-T. Text line 916-339-1140. This front office is not dumb enough to bring in someone that goes against the culture they just built. That's one of my other main worries here. It's not just he hasn't been that good on the floor, honestly, for a couple of years offensively. Secondly, it's I want a bigger role. I want to make $25 million reportedly. And it's also just the culture stuff. It's you have a young core here. You still have a young team. And Dylan Brooks himself is a younger guy. But I don't know if I would trust that element with a young team. Just as you turn the corner, just got to the playoffs in the first time in 16 seasons, everything's optimistic, everything's looking great, everybody gets along. And, throwing that unknown, that unpredictability into the mix, I think might be too much of a risk. Now, if you told me this guy is, knocking down 40% of his threes and he's not stepping over the line for the most part, then we might have that conversation. I think he goes a little bit too much. Text line, how about Holmes? What's the plan with Holmes? I would imagine he's not going to be a King next year. I would imagine Richaun Holmes is gone.
But who do you find to take that contract?
I honestly, I think worst case scenario, they release him and stretch his contract.
Oof.
I think
eat that money.
And honestly, if you're not going to play him,
right,
it'll cost you less over the next 3-4 years if you stretch him.
Yeah,
he's not going to play. It's just, unless something completely changes from this year, he's just not going to play.
Mike Brown was desperate for a center this year and some physical play around the basketball and still couldn't find a use for Richaun Holmes.
And you know what? It would be best. It would be best for the player as well. Let Richaun go somewhere and be able to, get some minutes, get some run. Stretch his contract, let him go elsewhere where he might be able to get 10, 15 minutes a night. Rashawn's had a tough time, especially off the floor the last year or so.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just best where, he goes somewhere, clears his head, gets some minutes.
The old change of scenery.
Yeah. Best for him. Best for him, best for the team, so you're not spending a roster spot. Meanwhile, before we get back to your reaction, I see some phone calls. I'll get to you. Want to congratulate Keegan Murray, Ramie. This is not a surprise. We've all been paying attention. We all believe that Keegan should be a first-team All-Rookie, and he was.
Nice.
The first-team All-Rookie, along with Banchero and Kessler and Jalen Williams and Benedict Mathurin. So he is 1 of 5 on the first team all-rookie team. So congratulations to Keegan. Fantastic rookie year.
And it would have been a crime if he wasn't. It really would have.
100%. 100% deserved. Let's go to Mike. Mike wants to talk about the Kings. Hey, Mike.
Michael.
Cattle's Ramie, what's up, guys?
How much?
Okay, so a couple things. First off, I'd like to talk about the officials. Okay, so I'm not a Lakers fan, definitely not a Warrior fan. But when we played the Warriors, it seems like the Warriors were never getting teased, and they got like 3 tees in the game down in Hollywood, and they called a push-off on Klay Thompson, because that's what the Warriors do. They want to give you the Heisman Trophy before they shoot a 3. Okay? So, also, with the Dylan Brooks thing, I think it would be cool to have a dog on the team, but with the Kings being such a high-character team, which is one of the greatest things I like about them, maybe Brooks was acting all like thuggish, ruggish bone because he was in Memphis, and that's the style of their team. Maybe he would, like, join the Kings and how they're, like, respectable to an extent. What do you guys think about that?
Ramie, what do you think? Did Dylan Brooks act the way he acted because he was part of the Memphis organization?
I think you'll try to get away with what you think you can get away with. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about. And that's not to put all the blame on the Grizzlies and their coach by any means. But I think it probably does take a certain type and special type of coach to wrangle Dylan Brooks and get the best out of him and make sure that stuff doesn't go too far sometimes, to the point where, you know, we always talk about these types of guys and we say you love to have them on your team, but everybody else hates them. You know what I mean? You always hear that about these types of guys. It gets to a point, and it seemed to have gotten to a point with Dylan Brooks, where even your own teammates are fed up with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the line you got to be careful about crossing, or letting a guy cross as an organization, as a coach. And I just think that it's the old Frankenstein story. The monster they created in Memphis got out of their control. You know what I mean? And they couldn't put it back in the box at some point, the Dylan Brooks story. And so I would put that faith in Mike Brown if he looked Dylan Brooks in the eye and thought this was a guy that could come in here and help and not hurt the team, but help the team under the guidance of Mike Brown. If he believed it, I'd believe it.
Couple more texts. No Dylan to be the villain to bring the Kings down.
Was he trying to rhyme, or?
I don't know. Maybe he took it from you. You rhymed last segment.
Was he a poet and didn't even know it?
Another text. Draymond Green without size or talent equals Dylan Brooks. So that would obviously be a no on that.
Yes, I think he's saying no.
Pretty comfortably a no.
Yeah.
Confidently a no. A big fat NO. Jason Timp from the Volume Networks. He does a good breakdown of the NBA and all these series. Tweeted out is if AD does guard Gary Payton II, look for some more Steph GP2 high pick and roll to open up the short roll opportunities for Payton, who is an excellent passer. Be interesting to see, man. Again, this is the counter from Steve Kerr. And he's not countering with size this time around. He's countering by going smaller and bringing GP2 in. So we'll see.
I love watching Gary Payton in the stands, watching Gary Payton II in the stands. Just unimpressed by everything. Just everything that's happening. Gary Payton is very unimpressed.
He looks like an old man sitting at a park watching dogs run around. It's just like for the 15th straight year. And has nothing else to do. Just like he's got the lean back and everything. He's just
he doesn't even look like he's
all right.
He doesn't even look like he's enjoying it. Like nobody made you be there, Gary Payton. What are you doing there?
I hope he cracks a mic though if they win.
Oh yeah. That'll be fun.
He gives us a Mahomes. He gives us a Mr. Mahomes about his son. All fired up. It's like, oh, there's the glove. All right, everyone's talking about the push. We'll address it next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
What was it? Was it Santa Anita or something? Where we kept doing the updates. And I'll say it again. I don't know what it is about horses.
They're still dying there, by the way.
Yeah, it's fine. But like,
is it?
No, I'm saying it's fine. Air floats. At best, you get to go out and do it with a bunch of fillies for the rest of your life, or you're dead. But, hey, yeah, but you're watching the Kentucky. Good for you. Have fun.
I watched it.
You hate horses.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay partly cloudy tonight. Our lows will drop down to the upper 40s. Tomorrow, a mixture of sun and clouds with a high of 73. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Plumbing, electrical, heating and air, everything that makes your home your home. With Bonnie, you sure got that covered. And right now, get your air conditioner tuned up for just $79. Originally $129. Bonnie.com.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Braden.
Monique's daycare is crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your socks slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Shh. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Ram truck owners have heart for being fearless, determined, and bold. That's why it's time for you to be a Ram. Make the move to a 2023 Ram 1500 with optional features that take your ride to the next level, like an available multi-function tailgate and the available Ram Box Cargo Management System for versatile exterior storage. Plus a premium audio system that turns every trip into an amazing music experience. Ram trucks, built to serve. See more of what Ram has to offer at ram.com.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. It's Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Looking at the NBA playoff landscape after the weekend, both the Lakers and the Heat went up 2-1 in their respective series. Last night, Sixers able to fight off the Celtics in a thrilling 116-115 overtime victory. Series tied up 2-2 with Game 5 set for Tuesday. Despite the Joker's 53-point push,
Jokic, boy, trying to rip it away from Matt Ishbia, and then the little shove. Oh, wow, boy.
the Suns outshined the Nuggets to even the series. Final score 124-129 as the two Western sets return to Ball Arena in the Mile High City for Game 5 for Tuesday. Today on the docket, Miami will host the Knicks beginning at 4:30, and Golden State looks to recalibrate in LA with tip-off slated for 7. And finally, City of Tree's very own Keegan Murray locks up an all-rookie first team spot. As always, hit up our Sactown Sports app or check out SactownSports.com for all the auspicious future looks for the Sacramento Kings.
Let's get it.
When push comes to shove, there's always Cattles and Ramie. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Let's get into it.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
I'm not going to repeat it, but Ramie just had the worst dad joke in the history of the world during
It's just
the break.
not good for radio.
I told him we should dock him like points. I don't know if we have to create a point system where we could dock him points for incredibly bad jokes. From a professional stand-up comedian, this was bad. This is like something that I don't know.
Hey, people asked Anthony Davis why he has terrible games and great games, and he said it's a make or miss league, man. Some go in, some don't. So, same thing with comedy, all right?
But I feel like you knew that was not going to go in when you shot it.
Yeah, I knew that.
That was a 37-footer.
That was Carlton Banks throwing up the game winner.
Yeah. Is that big heavy dude who's just rocking in threes?
That was Jordan Poole in game 2.
What did Giannis say? He said there's no failures in sports.
That is true.
That's
it.
Right,
Simone. I didn't fail.
There are no failures in comedy.
This just made me better and funnier for the next joke.
Don't let Kyle know that.
Oh, he asked me. He has a.
He's the worst.
He has
No,
a
we're
stand-up
not getting
tonight.
into it.
I was gonna go, but now I'm not. I was.
Open mic?
I will just say this.
Yeah, it's an open mic. Yeah, sorry.
You are a saint.
Yeah.
After last week, being able to even contemplate going to see a stand-up act from Kyle.
I got love for the boy.
You are a
You're
saint.
too hard on the kid.
I don't want to tell you what Ramie says behind closed doors. Puts that microphone on. He's captain defense for Kyle.
I'm not saying
that mic goes off. That kid gets buried.
I'm not saying I don't, see what you see. I'm just saying, just a boy.
Not necessarily seeing it; it's hearing it.
It's just a boy.
The migraine level goes up. that's all.
Youngster. He's a youngster.
He's a good guy.
Got some lessons to learn.
Yeah,
that's all.
We'll
We all did,
We'll leave it at that.
didn't we?
All right, so let's get to the push that everybody's talking about.
Also, he has to watch my dog this weekend. So
That's why. That's why Ramie is treating him so nicely and is defending him because he knows 5 days away he needs somebody to be watching on.
I'm gonna be in Vegas, man.
So everybody's talking about this push. Nikola Jokic, Suns owner, Matt Ishbia, ends up getting into a little bit of a kerfuffle, as Judge Judy would say. Now, Ishbia is holding the ball. If you haven't seen it yet, goes out of bounds. Basketball's out of bounds. Ishbia picks up the basketball and he's like holding it. And Jokic is like, give me the ball. And Ishbia doesn't want to give him the ball. And then so Jokic grabs the ball and then Ishbia knocks the ball away from Jokic and Jokic gives him a little bit of the chicken wing. And Ishbia falls back like he was shot from the 300 section by a rifle. It is a floppy McFlopperton flopping all around like a fish. And arms up. He played for Tom Izzo, Ishbia. So this is like, this is a good Izzo flop.
Yeah.
And they end up giving Jokic a tech. The Joker gets a tech.
Crazy.
Gets a technical. Here was Jokic in the post game.
The fan put a hand on me first, so I thought the league's supposed to protect us or whatever. So, but maybe I'm wrong. So we will see.
Did you happen to know who the fan was?
he's a fan, isn't he? If he's a sitting
Phoenix Suns owner.
Sitting on the courts and he's a fan, isn't he? That doesn't mean that he's so whoever it is and he's a fan, he cannot influence the game by holding the ball.
I love that. And we'll get to Michael Malone in a minute, who's was great as well. So, like, did you know that was the Suns owner? He's like, is he actually playing on the floor?
That's a fan.
If he's not on the floor, he's a fan.
He doesn't get to interject himself into the action because he signs checks.
Couldn't care less what his vocation is. I could not care less what he does for a living. If he's not on the floor with a uniform on, a jersey on, he's a fan. So stay out of the business.
Pretty simple.
Here was Malone.
I'm still not really sure what happened. I haven't seen a video of it. I think it's crazy that Nikola got technical foul on that situation. He's going to get the ball, and some fan is holding on to the ball like he wants to be a part of the game. Just give the ball up, man. You know what I mean? And they deemed Nikola doing something that was excessive, I guess, and they gave him the tech. But I still don't really understand it.
I think the fans, the owner of the Suns, made anything.
I don't give a shit. I really don't care.
I love that. I don't give a bleep.
I don't give a bleep.
Suns owner, big deal. Again, don't be doing what you're doing, man.
And he knew exactly what he was doing, Nick. Like you said, he played college hoops. And by the way, this is a thing Jokic does, the quick inbound, because he wants to get a 5-on-4.
Right.
Does this all the time when there are plays like this. And he knows that. The Suns owner, Ishbia, he knows that. He understands the game enough to know what Jokic is doing, and he held on to the ball to try and prevent him from doing it. If anybody should be punished or penalized in the wake of this thing, it's him.
Yeah.
He should be banned for a game from his courtside seat or whatever the case might be.
And Jokic gets fined $25,000.
And he put his hands on Jokic before Jokic put his hands on him.
Jokic somehow, because he's not the owner of a team, Jokic has to pay the $25,000 fine while Ishbia just continues to be Ishbia. No big deal. No harm done.
Crazy. It's crazy.
It's just.
Was a good flop, though.
You plop. Was it?
It was pretty good. I mean, as far as flops go, I'm not saying I defend him in flop, but as far as flops go,
I didn't think it was that good of a flop.
It's pretty solid. You could tell he had experience. This wasn't just anybody flopping. You know what I mean? He played some college ball. No, that was a college ball flop.
A good flop is if, like, he immediately went down, like, boom, hard. You know what I mean? There wasn't enough aggressiveness. There was too much, like, theatrics to it. Like, like it was kind of like a slow.
He knew the comfort of his courtside seat would capture him, would protect him.
Well, I just want to make sure we don't see this happen with JJ next year. Next season, JJ better not be getting in a tussle.
End up in Kyle Shanahan's lap, getting shoved back by Jokic. You know what I mean? We don't want that.
Shanahan's pouring a little bit of drink on JJ.
JJ, are you okay?
That'd be so funny, dude. Like,
you see John Lynch standing there in shock of the whole thing. Kyrie Irving.
Next year, Duncan Robinson randomly falls on JJ, and JJ, like, just clotheslines him. Like, damn, we didn't know JJ had that in him, but
terrible.
That was pretty good. Don't want to get near JJ. Courtside JJ make you hurt.
Never know.
I'll tell you, courtside JJ ain't flopping. He gonna make you flop.
Yeah, for sure.
He'll be first to contact.
Yeah,
sure.
He gonna bring the fight to you.
Feet planted.
Yeah, feet planted. He's the aggressor. JJ's the Davion Mitchell in this story.
Legal guarding position. Yeah, for sure.
You bump into JJ when he's at the courtside, it's going to be an off night for you.
Mark.
Speaking of JJ, we're going to play Where in the World Was JJ coming up.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Handoff McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feel super, baby! The 5-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
On your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Family-owned Clark & Rush, celebrating 60 years of serving Sacramento. It's time to convert your gas water heater and furnace to electric. Just turn to the experts at Clark & Rush and Carrier. We electrify more homes than any other contractor in Sacramento. Plus, we'll help you get up to $6,500 in utility rebates. We'll even do the paperwork. Call or visit clark-rush.com.
Smart energy savings is what we do. Clark and Rush.
Call 916-245-2829.
Ace fans need Friday night plans? Well, we got you covered. Get 4 tickets and parking for any Friday night game starting at just $49 with the Friday 4-pack presented by Chevrolet. Save big and enjoy great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more this 2023 season.
He drills one to right, way back, and no doubt, and that quickly the A's have taken the lead. Second deck.
Friday night tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
Great team. Where's the defense? Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet arch supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet arch supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Depression, anxiety, and trauma can happen to anyone. You aren't alone. 1 in 5 of us will have a mental health issue in our lifetime. And just like other illnesses, people who get support and treatment find healing and hope. Check in with someone you're worried about. And if you're feeling pain, ask for help. There's no shame in taking care of yourself or the people you care about. Be there for someone who's hurting, even if that someone is you. Learn more at StopStigmaSacramento.org.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Cattles and Ramie.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
All right, so JJ's back, thankfully. Part of the program. JJ and Simone feels like it's supposed to feel on this show today with them two behind the glass.
Feels like home again.
Of course, Ramie and I.
Yes, sir.
With you on the microphone. And so JJ went on a vacation last week. He was out Wednesday through Friday for his 40th birthday. We wished JJ the happy birthday last week.
Thank you for family. Thank you.
And JJ's wife told him, we're going on a vacation. And he was not sure where he was going. She did not tell him where they were going to go.
She said, pack a bag.
Pack your bags. Let's go.
Going somewhere.
Pack your bleep. Let's go. Right? That's what that was the message delivered.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been thinking about where JJ went on this vacation.
Man. So curious.
Very curious. So we figured we'd play a little bit of a game with JJ. And it's like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? But instead it's where in the world is JJ? By the way, can you put this up a little bit? Just listen to these lyrics. I was listening to this today. I'm like, yeah.
Well, she sneaks around the world from here to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered filcher from Berlin down to Belize. Take you for a ride on a slow boat to China. Tell me where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego.
Steal their soul in South Korea.
Absolute banger.
Right on the Red Sea to Greenland, they'll be singing the blues.
This is great. Just play this the whole segment, then we can get to the game later.
Where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego? So, I just see JJ. You know what I saw? Like, I was thinking of a graphic. It's like a graphic of an airplane. Like, you take a map of the United States, and you have a plane with JJ's face on it. And you just go from Nashville, and JJ get the smile. You can bring it down to Nashville. We're going to try to figure this out. So, what we're going to do here, JJ has not told any of us where he went.
I have not.
So the mysterious vacation, we're going to try to see if we can guess where he went. Now, each of us will have one question. We'll ask JJ one question. And then after the round of questions from myself, Ramie, and Simone, we will then give our best guess as to where JJ went on his vacation. So let's get this started. I will ask the first question.
Listen to that breakdown.
Oh, yeah. This is some scat. You weren't ready for that, man. It just Is that Pentatonics or whatever the hell? Kelly likes that band. What, Pentatonics? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're definitely pulling them for tomorrow.
It's Pentatonics. Yeah, they broke down pentatonic style right there. All right, so here's my question for JJ. Right. Was it a warmer weather location than Sacramento?
At that time or the norm? Like what it's known for,
what normally would be this time of year? Warmer than Sacramento or not?
No.
Ooh.
Okay.
That throws my first guess off.
Did you need a passport?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Okay.
Huh.
These are the questions I almost asked my wife. I'm glad you're asking these questions. I didn't ask the passport because I figured that would kind of throw something, a monkey in the ring.
Okay. All right.
I feel like this kind of really cuts it down quickly, and I hope I'm not taking away from the game. But did you go out of state?
Yes.
Oh.
All right. So out of state, not warmer than Sacramento at this time of year.
And somewhere in the
did not
United
need a
States.
passport. So somewhere in the United States.
Yes.
All right. This song.
I'm gonna just turn it up while you guys think. It's Jeopardy right now. You guys let me know who has the first.
JJ's face on the plane. All right.
You have a guess?
Who has the
Pakistan.
first?
I think this just said Pakistan. They went to your hood, Ramie. JJ went to your hood. All right.
Who has the first guess?
I have the first. No, I have the first.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go with just random because this is tough. The warm weather thing threw me off. I'm going to go with Denver.
Oh, it's a good guess. I took my wife for her birthday 2 years ago to Denver. So that's a no.
All right.
That's a no.
Damn.
I am going to say Seattle?
Went to Seattle last year for my birthday. So that's a no.
So wait, I guessed Denver 2 years ago. It was the wife's birthday.
We went to Denver.
You guessed Seattle. It was last year. So now Simone's got to get it. Now we got to get this year.
My heart is almost taking me to Texas. JJ.
The whole state of Texas. That'll be a no.
All right. Another round of questions.
Which, if we can add on, I went to Houston last year. So there you go for that.
Okay.
All right.
Does this city have an NBA team?
Great
that's too
question.
easy. That's a yes.
It's a
All
yes.
right, so it's an NBA city.
Is this city in the Western time zone, Jay?
Pacific time zone. That would
Pacific
be
time
a
zone.
no.
Okay. All right. Hey, all right.
That would be a no.
Oh my goodness.
NBA team in the Central or Eastern time zone.
Thanks, Ramie, for clearing the
No
fine.
problem.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that.
And it could be Denver Mountain Time. Well, it couldn't be Denver.
True.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
We already ruled out
thought I
Denver.
nailed that.
Yeah.
Utah, Phoenix.
All right, Simone, come on. It's your question.
winner.
I mean, are you east of the Mississippi River?
This is I mean,
Sorry.
That'll be yes.
Wow.
East
See,
of the Mississippi. All right.
all right.
I got a shot. May I? Can I guess another city or no? Not yet. Okay, fine. All right. I have an idea now.
It's Ramie's turn.
All right, Ramie.
I started the last one, so Ramie starts this
East
round.
of the Mississippi.
East of the
As
Mississippi.
an NBA team. Atlanta.
We went to Atlanta last year for Valentine's Day because
Atlanta was on my list.
Yeah, so no, not this time.
Atlanta was going to be on my list.
Simone, it's your turn.
It is.
Yes.
I'm going to shoot my shot. New Orleans.
That would be no.
Oh. All right. I think I got it.
Okay.
Very anticlimactic. You guys are gonna be like, come on.
I'm going to go with New York City.
Bingo. You got it, man. Yes, sir.
Let's
New
go.
York City.
New York
Very
City.
sweet.
I was either going to guess that or Atlanta with my second guess.
Yeah.
After
So
we narrowed it down.
you got it, Nick. The spin of New York City is every time I've been to New York City, handful of times, it's always in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
And Nick, you can attest to this. New York City's probably one of those places you want to get in and out unless you have some
Yes.
business there, right?
Yes.
And so I've never actually vacationed to New York City, the Apple. I've never really jumped around and looked at things. I had never rode a subway till this past weekend.
Really?
So I was happy, man. Got to see Coney Island. We went to World Trade Center Museum, Harlem, 125th Street, Malcolm X. Did those things where we were going to go to the Mets Rockies on Saturday, but some family came in town and surprised me. Didn't know they were going to be there.
Nice.
Coming out from where Nick is out, Providence, Rhode Island. So aunt, uncle, family like that came out. So man, New York we stayed in Manhattan, right off of Water Street, right across from the Staten Island Ferry. Got to see a lot of stuff, man. Yeah, It was a beautiful thing.
Beautiful.
My first time being in New York as a vacation, as
on a vacation, as a tourist.
sightsee.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's funny because I actually said to Kelly, I'd love to do that. Because the same thing with me, like even though I lived in Rhode Island for 30 plus years and lived in New England, I never went to New York City as like a quote unquote tourist.
Yeah, I've never been.
Yeah. I was there for Radio Row, Super Bowl week one time. So I got to see I got to see a little bit of it, but not anywhere near. Like it was only just like in the city, just running around doing stuff. It wasn't like, didn't have any time, like you said.
Yeah.
I'd like to take some time and go check out other parts of New York City and New York.
Yeah, man. So I think I'm we went to Brooklyn. I think now I'm 4 out of the 5 boroughs. So I didn't go to Long Island, all that type of stuff. Last time I've been there, we had went to the Bronx. Like I said, Manhattan, Uptown, Harlem this time, of course, Brooklyn. Hit the bodega, got the sandwiches. We did that type of stuff, man. So tourists jumped on the subway. I kind of, figured it out how to go here, go there, twist it, whatever. If you have an opportunity, it's not a great thing to go see, but it is a very interesting thing to see. If you have an opportunity to go to the New World Trade Center and see the pools and the museum, man, you can literally spend 3-4 hours in that place, man. It's a sight to see, listen, be a part of. Of course, like I've been to Pearl Harbor. Those type of things that the emotion comes over you, somberness. But at the same time, hearing some other people's stories, some of the people that family members were a part of that, they were there and kind of volunteering and telling stories. So it was all good, man. Did a little shopping. I'm a shoe guy. Checked out the shoes and stuff like that on Harlem, 125th. So yeah, man, beautiful.
Nice.
Loved it.
Glad you enjoyed, Jay. Happy birthday.
Did, man. I
man.
appreciate
stuff,
it, brother.
man.
Shouts out to the wife.
It's fantastic. By the way, if you want to see my anxiety level go up by 1 billion, put me on a New York subway.
I was gonna say
The germs
probably won't go well. Yeah.
sanitizer.
I will say this though, Nick. How many times have you been on subway, brother?
Not
Handful.
Not
Few?
many times.
Yeah. there are older trains for sure, and there are newer train versions.
Yeah.
Have you had an opportunity to jump on BART out here yet in the Bay?
No.
It's cleaner than BART, man.
Really?
Yes, because BART has the cloth seats. So it's like,
yeah.
At least NYC, at least all the subway trains that I jumped on, we got on the A train, the 5, the 4, the R. We bounced around a few of them, but they were all metal, or wood, or plastic. I should say plastic, and they look like they at least had been wiped down properly. Where BART is like
the cloth thing's a terrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass out if I sit down.
That shouldn't be on
That should
any
not
public
be.
seat
for sure,
anywhere.
All right, top stories next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
For your everyday vehicle. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP oil filter for only $26.99. Do the complete job for the right price. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
ACR Solar and Home Services is here to help you, just like they helped me. Jason Ross here, and ACR did a great job for my family, bringing their impeccable reputation and great workmanship to keep my family covered with a brand new roof. Now we're comfortable and dry during Sacramento's rainy season, knowing our home's structural integrity is protected. Our value is increased, and the home itself, well, it's looking and functioning at its best. The proof, it's in our roof. Now, you could get this same quality experience with ACR Solar and Home Services. Just go to acrsolar.com now to sign up for a free estimate and see all that they have to offer, not only to protect your home and family during the cold and wet Sacramento weather, but also including premium made in the USA solar electric systems. That's acrsolar.com. ACR Solar and Home Services is bringing us all the highest quality, highest value, and integrity since 1979. Go to acrsolar.com. That's acrsolar.com.
At Progressive, we know how much you love your recreational vehicles, so we decided to record this commercial in an RV.
With a family on vacation.
Mom, who are these people? Oh, that's Flo and Jamie. They're recording a commercial, sweetie. Don't they do that in the studio?
Oh, normally.
No.
But we wanted to feature a family who bundled their home and RV and saved with Progressive.
Yeah, it looks like you're all out of chips.
Okay, I think we'll just drop you off at the next gas station.
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Brayden.
Monique's daycare is crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your sock slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Shh. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Hey, Scott, you look great. Yeah, I'm feeling good and have a new job. No, there's something different about the way you look. To be honest, a few months ago, I had an amazing robotic hair transplant procedure at XL Medicine. It's called the artist procedure. No way. Your hair looks completely natural, and you don't even have a scar. How did they do that? Dude, the artist system is amazing. I have this fantastic hairline, and I'm happy with my results. XL Medicine could probably help you too, buddy.
Using the artist procedure, Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall can target and harvest healthy hair follicles with micron-level accuracy from the back of your head and transplant them where you need it. The procedure is painless, and you'll be back doing your regular activities in a couple of days. Ask Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall at XL Medicine about the artist procedure. Call today, 916-932-4470. That's 932-4470 for a complimentary in-person or Zoom consultation. Or on the web at xlmedicine.com. That's EXCEL medicine.com. See what the artist procedure can do for you.
These are actors and not real patients.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And is swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. It's Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Looking at the NBA playoff landscape after the weekend, both the Lakers and the Heat went up 2-1 in their respective series. Last night, Sixers able to fight off the Celtics in a thrilling 116-115 overtime victory. Series tied up 2-2 with Game 5 set for Tuesday. Despite the Joker's 53-point push,
Jokic, boy, trying to rip it away from Matt Ishbia, and then the little shove. Oh, wow, boy.
The Suns outshine the Nuggets to even the series. Final score 124-129 as the two Western sets return to Ball Arena in the Mile High City for Game 5 for Tuesday. Today on the docket, Miami will host the Knicks beginning at 4:30, and Golden State looks to recalibrate in LA with tip-off slated for 7. And finally, City of Trees' very own Keegan Murray locks up an all-rookie first-team spot. As always, hit up our Sactown Sports app or check out SactownSports.com for all the auspicious future looks for the Sacramento Kings. It's 5:03, and over in Miami, the Heat currently lead 31-30. Second quarter just underway. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Top spot coming at you right now on Cattles and Ramie.
Did you miss the headline and the top story of the day?
Extra, we don't matter.
Don't worry, because we got you covered.
This is how we do.
It's the Cattles and Ramie.
Top spot.
I don't appreciate how happy Simone sounds when she says the 76ers Celtics series now tied at 2. I don't appreciate that at all. She should sound miserable. She should be.
It's been a lot of fun.
Right? Oh, has it?
It's a good series.
For you.
That's great.
For you, I'm sure it's been great.
She's just enjoying the series.
All right, so we started today's show with the biggest decision that we think the Kings have to make this offseason. And you and I both agree that it's what to do with Harrison Barnes and how to fill that spot, Ramie.
Because it's not just Harrison Barnes. What you do with Harrison Barnes or without Harrison Barnes is going to trickle down and affect the rest of your roster, Nick. We assume, or at least we hope, that Monty McNair is going to bring back Harrison Barnes or upgrade that position. But there is the possibility that Harrison Barnes walks and for you decide we're out in the Harrison Barnes business. He goes somewhere else, and then you have a few other free agents or trades in mind. All of those fall through, and all of a sudden you've taken a step back at that position. You could bring back Harrison Barnes. Status quo. Hope this thing grows from within. Keegan Murray gets better. Mike Brown's system is that much more integrated. Chemistry is that much better. And the team just grows as a whole and gets better. Or, Nick, you could upgrade. And if you upgrade there, it's not necessarily at the power forward position where Harrison Barnes played this year. It could be at the 4, in which case Keegan Murray would be the 3. It could be at the 3, in which case Keegan Murray would be the 4. Or it could be at the 5, in which case you're moving Domantas Sabonis to the 4. Keegan Murray will stay at the 3. The domino effect of what happens with Harrison Barnes, the ripple effect of what happens with Harrison Barnes, as big, if not bigger, than what ends up happening with just that one spot.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Barnes thing really starts the entire offseason.
Yep.
And whatever you do there, as you've mentioned, the dominoes, the trickle-down effect, it's real. It's legitimate. And if you bring back Harrison Barnes, you're probably bringing him back at least $15 million a year. If you spend $15 million a year, now your cap space is starting to dwindle. If you want to bring in Vezenkov, you're going to pay him, I would guess, at least $6, $7, $8 million at least. So, those are your two major moves. I think you get more bang for your buck on a sign and trade deal if you can work something out. I don't know if they can work something out. So you do wonder if Monty is willing to just renounce Harrison Barnes' rights on the roster to cut that money off the books to gain all that cap space and just move forward that way. I think it's critical for this team to find balance. Like if I'm Monty, another big decision, because again, you and I both agree that Harrison Barnes is the biggest decision, what to do with him, how to replace him, etc.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Monty, I've got to try to find better roster balance. And here's where it gets difficult. Because, look, offensively, you don't have much to complain about. And if you let's say you replaced Harrison Barnes with Vezenkov, and that was your plan. Well, if that's your plan, as we've talked about before, Ramie, Vezenkov is not a great defender, and that's at the Euro League, right?
Right.
So when you make that transition to the NBA, better athletes, quicker athletes, now your foot speed is a thing, your lateral movement is a thing. You bring Vezenkov in here, he's an offensive guy. So now you're getting more offensive and less defensive.
How are you upgrading your defense?
How do you balance it? Right. How do you balance that out? If you're starting five, is, Fox, Herter, Keegan, Vezenkov, and Domas, you got worse defensively. Now, I think you got better offensively, but is that really what you want to do? Is that the goal? I think you've got to find some kind of balance. You can't go into next season saying that, Keegan Murray, Fox, and Davion are the three defenders that you have again. You've got to find – and look, Kessler Edwards, we're going to do exit interviews for the Kings coming up over the next couple of weeks. I'm not going to rule out Edwards developing and maybe turning into a guy who could give you 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
But you don't count on it.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't take that for granted, so to speak. So, how do you find that balance within this roster? That's going to be a major, major challenge for Monty McNair in this front office. How do you find – we could sit there and talk about 3-and-D guys, but how do you find that balance on both ends of the floor? Because you have to get better defensively, Ramie. You're not going to be able to come back and be 24th, 25th in defensive rating. I don't think you're going to be able to get a top 3 seed again if that's the case.
This is going to sound weird because of what he inherited, what he took over, and how much ground Monty McNair has made with the Kings from the time he took over to where we're at now, 3 seed, 48 wins. In my opinion, Nick, the job gets harder from here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going from basement dwellers,
no doubt about that,
to playoff team and a significant, relevant playoff team, that's a big leap. But this is where the heavy lifting really starts, of finding those last few pieces and putting this thing together to take them to the next level. He's done an amazing job. And I've said, I don't know how many times I've said, find me a general manager that's made 5 impact moves on the level that Monty McNair has made in the last year, between the 4 significant players he picked up and the Mike Brown hire. But this is where it gets really tough. And this is where the great GMs make a name for themselves. This is where Monty McNair steps up and takes this thing to another level.
Yeah, and there's just so much pressure now with every decision, right? Like if you're, I don't want to say that you don't care about the moves you make. If you're a fan or you're a media member, you don't care about the moves they make if they don't work. You just want to try something, right? There is an element of, hey, we're going to try something because we haven't been there in 16 years. Now you have something to protect. Now you have something to build off of. And so now every single move that is made is going to be under a microscope, because if you don't get it right and you quote unquote waste money on a player that doesn't do what you think he's going to do for your team, that can cripple you. So every single solitary decision from Monty and this front office means that much more. And so some of the risks that you might have taken a year ago, you might not take this time around. Now, I think Monty's willing to be, risky, and I think he is confident enough in the job that he can do in his evaluation skills. This is the guy who traded Halliburton for Sabonis when much of this area was upset at that. He's willing to take those swings, but those swings, they're that much more important, man, when you're actually winning now. Because if you lose, hey, we lost. We've been losing for 16, 17 years. We took a swing and we missed, but hey, we took a swing. Now it's like if you swing and you miss, you can go from the 3 seed to maybe, play-in status. You can't afford that to happen.
And you also have the delicate balance of, you want to add talent, you want to upgrade this roster on a basketball level, but at the same time, you have great chemistry and great culture brewing up here, and you don't know what move could necessarily throw the stars out of alignment when we talk about chemistry. It can be a very, precarious and delicate thing, a locker room chemistry and culture. And I'm not saying losing, we've talked about it, Nick. I'm not saying losing Harrison Barnes means the culture and the chemistry walks out the door with him, but every move, every guy you bring in, every guy you send out is going to change the personality and the chemistry of this basketball team. And can you keep it cohesive and keep everybody pointed in the right direction?
And it goes for everybody. Like, we're so focused on HB because that's the big decision that's coming down the pike. But let's not forget, man, like if you lose Trey Lyles goes somewhere else to make a little bit more money or whatever the case may be. Now you have to find a replacement for Lyles, and you have to make sure that replacement for Lyles is an upgrade. Like, we're not just talking about guys that are starting. We're talking about dudes coming off the bench, too. You have to upgrade on these spots across the board. And so you've got to make sure that you utilize your resources to the best of your ability. Very interesting offseason for Monty and company, and it's already begun.
Can't wait.
916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. You can check us out on YouTube, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Appreciate every single one of you that swing by that YouTube channel and chat with fellow listeners. You watch us, you listen to us. And if you'd like to help us, you can give us that thumbs up, give us that like. It'd be very much appreciated. But we appreciate every single one of you in that chat and on that YouTube page. We'll get to your thoughts. Also, LeBron makes his future plans known. We'll have that and more in 90 seconds.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy.
Purdy gonna throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
Growing a business brings pressure. Staying compliant and retaining top talent in challenging times. You feel stretched thin. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put over 35 years of HR service and technology to work, offering my employees competitive benefit options while lightening my HR load. Engaged people empowered to be their best means overcoming obstacles. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
We got 50-cent tickets to give away. We'll do that in a little bit.
Ooh.
50 cent. 50 cent giveaway. You'll be at They'll be at Golden One on September 4th. So we'll give away those tickets in less than 10 minutes. So you want to stay tuned for that. Your chance to win some tickets to go see Fitty at Golden One. By the way, Miami's up 43-36 right now in the middle of the second quarter. So that's happening. New York loses, they're pretty much donezo. So this is as close to a must win as possible for the Knicks. And Miami's playing really well. Like, I'm stunned at how well Miami's playing.
Yeah, you and the rest of the basketball world.
I did not think that this was even in the cards.
You also didn't know that Michael Jordan body snatched Jimmy Butler. So there was no way of seeing this coming.
It's well, I mean, I even planned on playoff Jimmy, but the rest of the team was just garbage. But not now. Not now. All right, so let's get to before we get to LeBron and Bronny and all that good stuff. Let's get to some more thoughts about the Kings here on the text line and YouTube chat. We were talking about Dillon Brooks earlier in the show. I'm still out on Brooks. Ramie is still open-minded on Brooks. Here's an interesting text, 916-339-1140. Ramie, Brooks over Barnes at the same price, question mark.
I saw the Sactown Sports Twitter handle put up a question similar to this. No, probably not. I think I'd take Barnes back at the same price.
Yeah, I'm out.
Right?
It's not just the player, it's the position.
Yeah.
You know, Dillon Brooks, he could play 3 for you, 2/3. I think you're looking at a 3/4. Like 3 through 5 is what's unanswered. Right now, you've got Fox, you've got Herter, you've got Monk, you've got Mitchell. It feels like the backcourt's in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
You might want to add like a third, point guard as a veteran if Delly's not coming back. But you got to look at the wing position in the front court. That's where you're looking if you're Monty. So I'm not spending money on Dillon Brooks because, if you like him, he's a luxury. He's a luxury item. He's not a must-have. If you want to get physical and get the toughness in the locker room, that's fine. I agree with all that. But try to find that, 3 to 5. Don't necessarily need that at the 2/3.
And also, you just look at the two guys purely from a basketball standpoint and production-wise. You pointed out Dillon Brooks' numbers have been headed in the wrong direction for a couple of seasons now, where Harrison Barnes was just very productive for you. Yeah. We're both sitting here saying, Nick, you probably need to upgrade with that money, that roster spot, that starting spot in the Kings lineup. But at the same time, he had a good season for you. You know what I mean? And has been just a better basketball player than Harrison Barnes. All the other stuff than Dillon Brooks. All the other stuff aside.
Yeah, it's not that he's bad by any means.
No.
I mean, we all agree that HB is a good player. It's just, can you build off of this and have a higher ceiling by upgrading from HB? I think you can. Now, if you can't, I don't want to say you're stuck with Harrison because that's disrespectful. But if HB stays here, it's not the worst thing in the world. But you'd like to upgrade. You would like to upgrade at that spot. TCG in the chat, definitely need a Dillon Brooks type player, just not Dillon Brooks himself. Please, God, no. Yes, we agree. I agree with you, TCG. We were talking about Sasha Vezenkov as well earlier in the program, and Silent in the YouTube chat says maybe the Kings can trade Sasha's NBA rights. Maybe Sasha's NBA rights are important to another team. Just wanted to point out another asset the Kings have if they want to trade for a player. Yeah, I mean, you could certainly trade the roster spot. You could trade Sasha's rights. The only tough part about that is the negotiation. And I don't mean between you and the team that you're trading Sasha to. I mean the negotiation between Sasha and the team that wants Sasha. Because they have the same question that you have, which is how much money does this guy want?
Right.
Is it feasible? Like some team might want Vezenkov, but Vezenkov might want $9 million. That team could be like, thanks, but no thanks. We're not going to pay you $9 million a year. So it depends on that team's roster. Text line 916-339-1140. Can Vezenkov play the 5? Defense. Willing to come off the bench. First, can he play the 5? No. He's 6'9". He's not a big, thick physical presence. So he's more Tony Kukoc as far as body type.
Ooh, I like that comparison though.
6'9", long, lefty, that kind of game. So if you're thinking physicality wise, frame wise, think Tony Kukoc.
I was a big Tony Kukoc guy.
Defense, no, not a very good defender. If you're hoping that you're going to bring Vezenkov over and he's going to be a lockdown guy or he's going to bring physicality and toughness and defense, nope. He kind of fits the mold of that European lefty. Again, Tony Kukoc, not a great defender. He defends okay, but let's not forget, again, the level of athleticism is different, and he doesn't like contact. He doesn't play to contact. He doesn't play to contact offensively, and he doesn't like to muck it up defensively. So you're getting kind of a smooth 6'9", power forward who can cut to the bucket. He has this nice little left-handed floater he likes to take. He can make threes. Now, Europe, of course, you have a closer three-point line as well. But this dude has been pretty prolific from three. So he's a shooter. He can shoot.
Saw some highlights of him hitting from the logo.
Yeah.
Like launch from deep.
He can especially shoot from the corners. He's really good from the corners this past year. But he's not a defender. He's not a physical presence. Is he willing to come off the bench? Have no idea. Not sure they've discussed that yet. But he's a guy who's, he's a pretty premier player where he's at right now. So that's also one of the questions. Is he able to subjugate his ego? Is he willing to come off the bench? All of those things have to be answered. All right, let's get to Bronny quick here, Ramie. So Bronny James has committed. LeBron's son is going to go to USC. And if you're wondering, Bronny ended up being 19th in the 2023 ESPN class rankings.
That's crazy, man. When you talk about pressure and you know what I mean? We talked about LeBron a lot and the fact that he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 16, 17 years old. And to do what he's done in that spotlight and with those expectations is remarkable. You could almost say the same thing about Bronny. You know what I mean? We've been watching this dude play basketball since, I don't know, 6th, 7th grade. I remember Bronny highlights coming across my timeline. And to just have that name and that guy as your dad and all the attention and spotlight and scrutiny that comes with it. Not just the fact that he's the 19th best player in the country. Nick, I've never heard a crossword about Bronny. You know what I mean? Young people do stupid things. I'm guilty of it myself.
Well, look,
I haven't heard one thing about Bronny.
One thing about LeBron, and he irritates the hell out of me.
Yep.
But
I know what you're about to say.
Away from the floor, zero controversy. This dude has not been in it could be NDAs all over the joint, whatever it is. This guy, he has not been embroiled in any kind of controversy whatsoever. Now, look, people will point to the China comments. You get what I'm saying, though. This guy hasn't been, caught getting into a fight somewhere. He hasn't been caught cheating on his wife. By all means, a pretty stand-up individual. And in this age with social media, I have a feeling, could you imagine MJ back in the day if there was social media? How many videos would we see of him at a casino?
Right.
At 4 a.m?
Yep.
So LeBron he takes care of his business.
And a great dad by all indications.
And he's done he's done a ton for charity. He's done a ton for the young people in Akron. Again, can't say enough about him. He irritates the hell out of me on the floor at times and all that stuff. But as an individual, from what we know, seems like a very quality guy. So it's not a shocker that his son seems to be pretty level-headed.
True.
And has handled his business pretty well. But, 19th, again, in the class rankings, ESPN, it's going to be a lot of pressure. It's the gift and the curse. You get opportunity being LeBron's son. He's making a ton of money off of NIL. He's going to continue to make a ton of money.
The highest earner,
I believe,
in NIL.
So he's making millions in NIL money. He's going to make millions in NIL money. But you're LeBron's son. I mean, look at Jordan's kids, right? They never really. I know one of them played college ball, maybe two of them, but they never. Two of them, yeah. I was thinking I was one or two, but two of them played college ball. One, I think, in North Carolina. I don't know where the other one played, but so JJ, you know where the guys? Where
one played at Central Florida. That was Marcus, the one with Pippen, and then Jeffrey played at Indiana and transferred somewhere after.
Yeah, I think he was anyway, it doesn't matter as far as where Jeffrey played. With all due respect to Jeffrey Jordan, but those guys never really, you're Jordan's kid,
right?
And they never reached that level. Bronny seems to be ahead of those players. Again, He's top 20 in his class, so. It'll be interesting to see his career unfold. Hopefully for him, it all works out. A lot of pressure, but, he also has a dad that gets it and has dealt with the most pressure you could deal with. All right, let's give away these 50-cent tickets. Sounds like a good idea to me. The Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now, 50 Cent live in concert at Golden One on September 4th. Let's give out the hotline number, 1-800-920-1140. 1-800-920-1140. Caller number 8 to that hotline number wins a pair of tickets to check out 50 Cent Live. Live Nation has your plug to check out 50 Cent, Golden One Center, September 4th. So caller number 8 to that contest line wins those tickets. Congratulations to caller number 8.
Illinois, Jeffrey Jordan, Illinois.
That's right.
Where the hell
then
did I
transferred to Marcus at Central Florida.
Where the hell did I get North Carolina? I thought one of his kids played at like North Carolina A&T.
And his daughter went to Syracuse. She's married to Hakeem Warwick, right?
Did she ball too?
Or Christmas, or is it Rakeem Christmas? It was one of the two.
Warwick's a little too older, I think.
Yeah, it might be Rakeem Christmas.
All right, so congratulations to caller number 8. We got Akash Anavarathan, who joined us earlier in the show. Talk 49ers. You'll hear from him in the callback.
Cattles
And Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third, your scorer is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great winner.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
Saturday, June 10th, Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is proud to present Girl Named Tom, winners of NBC's The Voice.
If you don't love me now, you will never love me again.
Girl Named Tom, June 10th at 8 p.m.
Until then, I'll sing my homesick melody.
Get your tickets now at goldcountrycasino.com.
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Must be 21 or older.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
When you're ready to get properly fitted for golf clubs, join the thousands of Northern California golfers who visited the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio. Players of all abilities found the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers answers to questions about golf club fitting. You'll find a professional staff of fitters, major equipment brands, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan. See for yourself at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Call 916-808-2531 to schedule your fitting. 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I want to talk to you about my friends at American Energy. We can all agree on one thing. Your time is important. That's why at American Energy Heat and Air, they make shopping for a new air conditioner easier with their new online quoting tool. Now, all you have to do, go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote today. It'll help you determine what system you'll need to get and provide those great pricing options they have, the best pricing options, all from the comforts of your home without having somebody coming to your house. Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your specific needs are, call 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
It's Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Looking at the NBA playoff landscape after the weekend, both the Lakers and the Heat went up 2-1 in their respective series. Last night, Sixers able to fight off the Celtics in a thrilling 116-115 overtime victory. Series tied up 2-2 with Game 5 set for Tuesday. Despite the Joker's 53-point push,
Jokic, boy, trying to rip it away from Matt Ishbia, and then the little shove. Oh, wow, boy.
the Suns outshine the Nuggets to even the series. Final score 124-129 as the two Western sets return to Ball Arena in the Mile High City for Game 5 for Tuesday. Today on the docket, Miami will host the Knicks beginning at 4:30, and Golden State looks to recalibrate in LA with tip-off slated for 7. And finally, City of Tree's very own Keegan Murray locks up an all-rookie first-team spot. As always, hit up our Sactown Sports app or check out SactownSports.com for all the auspicious future looks for the Sacramento Kings.
Let's get it.
Currently, Miami leads 56-48, about 20 seconds left in the second half. JJ, please hit that callback.
I'm going to light up these phone lines.
The phone is ringing, and we are checking to see who's on the line.
Long time listener, first time caller.
News, gossip, a story.
Okay, who's the next victim?
It's the callback
on Cattles and Ramie.
Little bit of controversy happening, huh, Ramie?
Apparently.
The NHL draft lottery was tonight, and many people believe the fix was in.
People think it's rigged.
Chicago won.
Yes, sir. We're back, baby. I don't care.
The boy wonder?
Yeah, Bedard. This dude is like crazy. But yeah, so
Kevin Weeks announced that Columbus got the third pick without even flipping the card or looking, and then they very quickly cut to commercial after that.
The
fix
plot,
is in.
The plot thickens.
The fix is in.
Plot thickens. I told you that's because Connor McDavid got stuck on the West Coast.
Are hockey fans like NBA fans, where they see conspiracy and everything? The lottery, the referee, the
not as much. I don't think as much.
Okay, all right.
It's a little bit more muted than NBA fans, but the thought was McDavid plays on the West Coast, and not many people get to see him, and he's just spectacular. I mean, he's maybe as close to Wayne Gretzky as anybody has ever been. And he's, playing at 10:30 every night on the East Coast. So the theory today that I saw a lot of on Twitter was there's no way that a West Coast team is going to win the lottery.
Is there a big get at the top of the draft this year?
Yeah,
or?
JJ just asked. Bedard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Connor Bedard. He's seen as somewhat of a freak.
So, all right.
Yes.
Go Blackhawks.
All right. Akash Anavarathan joined us on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. We're talking some Niners. And Ramie asked Akash, are the Niners better currently than they were last season?
I think so. I think, when you just look at the overall list of players they lost and maybe the players they added, I think that doesn't take into account some of the guys that they expect to take, a leap forward. And it's already an extremely talented roster. And I think, as we all know, it kind of hinges on that quarterback position, the health of Brock Purdy, development of Trey Lance, and, the potential of Sam Darnold. So I'm not necessarily too worried. A lot of those guys, filled in depth roles, and some of them were valuable contributors, no doubt. But, if there's anything that we know, the 49ers coaching staff has done a good job of developing some of the younger guys, and I expect them to, step into roles. And they've done a good job of, drafting guys a year early. A name like Drake Jackson, who I'd expect to be a big contributor this year. He's not necessarily someone that they added this offseason, but he's going to have a much bigger role than he did last season. So, moves like that they make a year early is going to pay off hopefully this season.
He's probably right about that, Nick, when you look at additions and subtractions and where they are on paper. But the real question is, because I've seen a few, I know you've seen a few, you've shared them with me, post-draft or post-free agency power rankings.
Yeah.
And the 49ers have only moved down. So while maybe on paper they've gotten better, they don't exist in a vacuum relative to the rest of the NFL and other teams jockeying for position in terms of Super Bowl contenders. In that sense, have they gotten better, or have they moved down the pecking order? You know what I mean?
Well, I'll say this, man. When you look at, and I think maybe we dig into this a little bit more like later in the week or whenever during this offseason, but Seattle has taken a pretty good step forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Seattle's defense could be pretty frightening with that secondary that they have put together now. Their cornerback position is just outrageously talented. Witherspoon from Illinois is really good. So, you got Seattle taking that step forward. Philadelphia, to me, is the team to be worried about. I mean, they got to the Super Bowl last year, obviously, but seems like they had a killer draft. They acquired DeAndre Swift. That's going to make them better in the backfield. They brought on Jalen Carter, who many people would tell you was the most talented guy in the draft. He fell to 9 because of the off-the-field stuff, the accident. 2 people lost their lives.
Yeah.
He put some weight on from the combine to the pro day. People were questioning if he gave a crap. But he goes to Philly, and Philly is a team that, I mean, they're pretty much the Philadelphia Bulldogs or the Georgia Eagles, whichever you want to pick. I mean, they've got like 7 or 8 dudes from Georgia. And they've got a defense that is, I think, terrifying. They replace Hargrave with Carter. If Carter reaches his potential, I mean, that defensive line, man, Eagles are loaded. Eagles are freaking loaded on both sides of the ball.
Howie Roseman, that dude deserves all the flowers.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because it's not always, I think we always look at this in a vacuum like, oh, is this team better? Well, how did the other teams get better? The other teams got better. Doesn't matter if you got better. If you got better and everybody else got better.
If they took 4 steps forward and you took 3, you lost
Guess what?
ground. Yeah, you lost.
You're
a little
one
ground.
step short, aren't
Exactly.
you? All right, back to our friend Akash. I asked him, when's the Nick Bosa deal going to get done? Come on.
As always with this team, it feels like these extensions don't get done until training camp.
Right.
As they say, deadlines create action, and there's no real urgency especially with a player like Nick Bosa, who generally trains away from the team during OTAs, and until training camp, he's off in Florida with Joey, his brother, and his own personal training staff working out there, and somehow comes back in better shape. So I imagine we won't see an extension until then, but not necessarily concerned. I can't imagine there's much of a back and forth there, given what Bosa put on tape last year, obviously being the defensive player of the year. I think it's pretty clear what his contract's going to be, and I think the 49ers are going to back up the Brinks truck for him.
It's not if, it's when. The bigger question is, if you had the opportunity to hang out with Nick Bosa for the offseason, would you hang out with Nick Bosa if Joey Bosa was also part of that
that's a great
deal?
question.
Yeah.
That is a great
Because you have
question.
said plenty of times that you hate Joey's face.
I do not like Joey Bosa. Not just his face. Him. I don't like him.
Pretty strong.
I know.
You don't know him personally. You don't like him.
I know enough about him personally.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I don't think so. I don't think
You're out.
I don't think I can spend any amount of time around Joey Bosa. I think I'm out on that.
You're
Although
out
they
on-
probably eat really good. You know what I mean?
You think? Yeah.
Did you ever see the what was it?
Like 250 pounds of solid muscle, and they're rich.
One of the ESPN documentary or interview shows, they went to the Bosa house and met his parents and stuff, and they literally put out a whole salmon, and like bears, they just sat around and picked at the salmon, and it was just bones. Can you imagine having to feed those two growing up, both Bosas or all the Watts? So they probably get, for the meals alone, I'd probably hang with the Bosas.
You'd be able to cope with Joey's face?
Yeah. I'd just take another bite of steak every time I wanted to tell him how stupid he is.
The Bosas. Would you rather hang out with the Bosas or the Kelseys?
Oh, no, the Kelseys for sure.
Give me the
Yeah,
Kelseys,
Jason
too.
seems really cool.
I could take
Jason
it like a
seems
short
fun.
stint, though.
Yeah.
I could probably take Travis for about a day or two.
Travis is going to get on
that's
my
true.
nerves for sure.
He's like the Vegas of people. There's
Yeah.
too much going on. A couple days and I'm out. See ya.
Every group of friends has
Rob
that one.
Gronkowski.
Every group of friends has that one friend who's just a little too intense. You know what I mean?
A little bit much.
Yeah.
A little bit much.
Travis and Rob Gronkowski are definitely that guy. Yeah.
Travis is at like a 15 when I need him at a 6 or a 7. Want a shotgun another one? Smashing his forehead with it. All right, dude. I'm not at a frat. So I'm not back in college here. Settle down.
Travis Kelce definitely smashed beer cans on his head. No doubt
Still
about
does
it.
to
Still
this day.
does. Yeah.
He's doing it right now somewhere. Cutting his forehead wide open with a beer can. All right, we got much more before we bounce. We'll have it for you coming up.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The Coach of the Year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The Clutch Player of the Year.
Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or T-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Golfers, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is redefining the word sale. With $500,000 in Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio closeout inventory, you're sure to find your next nearly new showroom clubs at discounts up to 75%. From full sets of irons to metalwoods to wedges, visit the Hagen Oaks Garage Sale and find discounts up to 75% on selected clubs right now at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Cattles and Ramie.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Last segment of a Monday. Hopefully we helped you get through the Monday. Not the best day of the week.
Were you feeling Monday today? I was feeling very Monday today.
Yeah, felt a little Monday.
Right?
Yeah. I felt like Simone made me feel Monday because this morning in the meeting,
Yeah.
it's like, good morning, Simone. She's like, hey.
Hey.
I'm like, how you doing? She's like, feeling like Monday. Yeah. And then that just made me feel like Monday.
The ball just rolled from there.
I feel like if Simone was like, I'm feeling great, I'm all fired up, I would have been like, yeah, here we go.
You want me to lie to you, Nick?
Didn't you know you're supposed to be the energy?
Lie to you?
You're supposed to be the energy of the show, Simone. We count on you.
Don't lie to me, my lady.
I
I don't
know.
want that to happen. All right.
I'm just keeping it real.
Let's give a shout out here to Vida Blue. Rest in peace. Passed away over the weekend. And I saw tons of reaction about Vida, and people who knew him personally had nothing but great things to say. And look, I obviously did not know him personally, but he had quite the career. He pitched from 1969 to 1986. and won the MVP and Cy Young Award in 1971. He won not one, not two, but 3 rings with the A's back in the glory days. 72, 73, and 74, he won a ring. 6-time All-Star. He threw a no-hitter in 70, and he's part of the A's Hall of Fame. So Vida Blue, rest in peace. One of the, I would say one of the very well-known pitchers.
For sure.
Like, even if you're not from this area or an A's fan, a lot of people just know Vida Blue.
I think that, not to take anything away from all his accomplishments, obviously a great pitcher. You just went over the resume, but the name, name just sticks in your head. It's such a unique and cool name for a professional athlete to have that you don't forget Vida Blue.
Vida Blue.
You know what I mean? I bet he was.
It's like he was put on earth to be an athlete with that name.
I bet a lot of kids growing up, Vida Blue was their favorite player just because his name was Vida Blue.
You think we have a lot of Vidas we don't know about?
Right? Is
that what you're saying?
Maybe. I don't know. Possibly.
A lot of Vidas?
Maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, rest in peace, Vida Blue. Again, 3-time champion with the A's. Staying with baseball and pitching, I saw this story, and I had to bring it up to you, Ramie. I feel like this is something that's going to get you all worked up. Maybe I was wrong.
Okay.
So, Nashville, high school pitcher. This is from the Main Street Preps, Tyler Palmateer. And here's what Tyler wrote. Ensworth's baseball season ended on Thursday when the Tigers were required to forfeit a tournament elimination game after it was determined Tigers pitcher and Vanderbilt commitment Connor Cobb exceeded the TSSAA mandated pitch count against Father Ryan on Wednesday. Ensworth trailed the best-of-3 series 1-0 before defeating Father Ryan 5-0 in Wednesday's Game 2 behind Cobb's big performance. Cobb threw a no-hitter with 16 strikeouts in 7 innings in the forfeited win, which would have tied the series at 1-1 in the Division II AA Middle Region Tournament. Sometime afterward, it was discovered that Cobb had thrown 121 pitches, one more than the maximum of 120. The TSSAA confirmed that Ensworth coach Jason Maxwell self-reported the violation of 121 pitches. Thursday morning to TSSAA Assistant Executive Director Gene Maniz, who oversees baseball. The penalty for a first-time pitch count violation is a forfeit, a $50 fine, and a 1-game suspension for the team's head coach. It's really a manager. I'm very touchy with that stuff.
Manager,
it's manager in baseball. It's not a head coach.
I agree with you.
Come on, Tyler.
I'm with you there.
Tyler of Main Street Preps. What are we doing? It's clearly a manager. He doesn't coach, he manages. He's a baseball.
Get your stuff together.
That's why they also have to wear uniforms as grown adults, which I find to be ridiculous.
It's been very weird to me.
I hate that. That part of it's ridiculous.
I say we either stop doing that in baseball or do it across all sports.
So like Steve Kerr's rocking a Warriors jersey and shorts tonight?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Coaches in football.
Imagine Tom Thibodeau wearing a Knicks
full pads and helmet
jersey.
Full pads and helmet.
That boiler be hanging out for all the glory. Come on, let's go. You know his voice. I'd be afraid if I had to play like the Lions, though. Dan Campbell might run across the field and tackle you.
Might take you out.
Imagine Bill Belichick.
Might drop the boot.
Like 71-year-old Belichick in pads and a helmet. He's like, I'm 70. What?
Straight punter body.
Pete Carroll be running around headbutting dudes.
Oh, Pete Carroll would love it. Pete Carroll wishes he could suit up on the sidelines.
Sneaky Pete.
Be slamming that gum.
I do think the funniest image would be in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the coaches that they got there.
I want the shorter coaches, like the really short coaches, to wear the long shorts like Michigan back in the day.
Yeah.
Like some guys might pull it off somewhat. Like I think Coach Spo would be fine. Missoula, because he played college basketball.
Yeah.
And he's 34.
Yeah. Who's the guy with the Grizzlies?
Chauncey Billups.
Billups would look fine.
Who's the guy with the Grizzlies? I'm drawing a blank on the Grizzlies coach.
Oh, Taylor Jenkins.
Taylor Jenkins. He would look hilarious in basketball uniform.
He'd look great.
Mike Brown. How would Mike Brown look? With the Vans? He's got the Vans on the sideline with the uni.
How about Coach Pop?
Oh, my God.
That'd be outstanding. I want this to happen now.
Do you have to wear a shirt under the jersey?
Nope. just straight jersey.
So it could just be Pop with a straight jersey.
Shirt. We gotta go to shirt.
Guns out, man. Sun's out, guns out.
Pop be like as white as I am. I bet you in a basketball
so
jersey.
Good on seeing this. Yeah.
Well, that was a shot. Here.
Yeah, what do you got against Coach Pop?
She took a shot at me. I said,
I was.
I look as white as Coach Pop. She said, "Yeah, I don't need to see that." She ruined my morning, and she's now ruining my afternoon.
A lot of spaces and surfaces I don't need to see at this time.
Spaces and surfaces.
Sound like a math problem.
I know. This is geometry.
You know I like stats.
Now I'm just fixated on looking at who could be
What NBA coaches
Yeah.
look funniest in a
Yeah.
uniform.
Steve Clifford wouldn't be great. That would not be a great one. That would.
Can you imagine when they were coaching the Van Gundys in full uniform?
Stan Van Gundy with his high voice. Get your basketball. Doc Rivers would look like the old school YMCA cat.
Yeah. He'd look like the dude who wore his college uniform 20 years later to his YMCA intramural.
With like the bow-legged knees and stuff, like walking out with a knee brace.
Hi.
Ridiculous.
Dwayne Casey before he got fired.
Poor Dwayne Casey. I think
I want this to happen now.
Pop might be my favorite one.
Yeah, probably.
Pop or Tibbs for me.
Tibbs would be
Tibbs
outrageous.
would be really good.
Tibbs would be outrageous. He just keeps tucking his jersey in. Come on! Let's go! Ref would have to keep walking by. I'm like, come on, Tibbs.
Tuck your jersey in.
He'd be like Chris Farley.
You know
Saturday Night Live.
You know that's a uniform violation, Tibbs. Come on.
Van down by the river, making sure that jersey is tucked in.
But you were saying about a high school pitcher?
I don't know anymore. So one extra pitch, and this dude got they had to forfeit the game. One pitch.
I hate to be this guy, and people wouldn't probably expect me to be this guy, but man, the rules is the rules at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And I'm sure they're in place for a reason, probably a couple of reasons. One, to protect the kid from injury, and two, for competitive balance reasons, that you don't just want a team to throw their best pitcher at every team that they see and give everybody a chance to win. And you know what? Like, they knew the rule coming in. The pitcher knew the rule. The manager knew the rule, I'm sure, and they just decided they'll let him go for the no-hitter. They ran the risk and they got caught. You know what I mean? If you're gonna not draw the line at one pitch, where do we draw the line? 2,
I'm
3,
with you. It's
5 pitches. It's stupid.
I'm with you. It stinks for the kid.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why, and that's what you gotta live with. Forfeit.
I want more coaches in full uniform now.
By the way, I just rewound and looked at myself do what I was doing. The hell was I thinking? My Tom Thibodeau impression. I look like a broken chicken.
We have an update on a story we talked about earlier in the show.
Whoa.
CBS confirmed Deadline's exclusive about canceled SWAT getting a reprieve with a season 7 renewal.
They listened to the show.
Through a statement.
I'm going to make my wife so happy.
You're going to get another season of SWAT, Kelly. There you go.
This will make my wife the happiest she's been.
It's from Deadline Hollywood.
Where is SWAT based upon? Is it in L.A.?
No
a
idea.
show?
I haven't watched a second
New York?
of it.
Nothing? Oh.
I just G-chatted her. SWAT has been renewed.
There you go.
She's going to be very excited by this.
Nice. Glad I could make Kelly happy today.
I wish she was as excited to see me as she's excited to see SWAT.
Well, now she'll be in a good mood when you get home.
She's going to give me the Simone.
Big hug.
I don't need to see that. There's all spaces and surfaces. But honey. Nope.
Well.
That's what happens. Moving on to year 18. What are you going to do? Thanks to Simone and JJ.
Keep living, brother.
Fantastic.
Congratulations on that, by the way, too.
What if you came out in full uniform, though, Nick?
Oh, Hearts of Fire. You kidding me? Get
Little
out of the
role
way,
play
ladies.
action right there, Ramie.
Get out
Game
of the
time,
way.
Jamie. Let's go.
Get out of. I was doing like a G. Wojciechowski starts slapping the floor in the living room. It's time for SWAT.
Oh my God.
All right, we got to leave. He's Ramie. I'm Cattles. It's Sactown Sports. Bye-bye.
Out as in detergent. Now hurry, go on to the altar. I know you ain't but remember what I taught you. Keep your heart, 3 stacks. Keep your heart. Hey, keep your heart, 3 stacks. Keep your heart. Man, these girls are smart. 3 stacks, these girls are smart.